Ladies and gentlemen, hello, boys and girls, everybody around the world, hello, and welcome to another episode of The Welch Report with me, Jungle Welch, right here on YouTube and every podcasting platform. Imagine, make some noise, clap it up, and get excited wherever we are back with another action-packed episode for you to start off the week. And what a week it has been, and what a absolute drama show it has turned out over the last the couple days of the weekend. We've got major essentially turmoil, struggle, outright dissension all across the boxing airways as Bivol has relinquished the WBC title and will not fight Benavidez for the undisputed championship like we all were talking about. This has sent a whole ripple to the whole light heavyweight division. Now we got to look at where Benavidez is as a championship holder, what Bivol is going to do against Benavidez, how soon that fight's going to be. All this stuff. Did Bivol duck did Bivol duck Benavidez on top of the likes of a bunch of other fights happening this weekend? Tszyu returning, Abdullah Mason, Richard Torres. I got to talk about the heavyweight landscape, at least for the American heavyweight regime in Richard Torres, and how I don't have a whole lot of faith in him as a fighter. All that and much more, not to mention the NBA, not to mention the playoffs are happening. I believe after this week, we just still don't know what's going to happen with the Western Conference, who's going to be where by the time it's all said and done, and the play-in done stuff. We got so much stuff to offer, and I appreciate you all tuning in and joining me for the ride, no question about it. And, I almost forgot, if you are already here, leave a like on the stream while you're here. Comment your thoughts and opinions, subscribe to the channel, and share the show with everybody that you know so we keep on building up this empire all together. Yes, indeed. And that's all thanks to you and your support. We are now at 1,671 subscribers. Yes, indeed. We're building, we're growing, we're flourishing, we are thriving right here on YouTube and every podcasting platform. Speaking of every podcasting platform, we're available everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it, we're there. And if we're not, tell us. We will get there absolutely. But without further ado, we got a jam-packed show to cover. We got a lot of stuff that we need to get into. And I want to hear your thoughts and opinions, as well as your thoughts when we get to the championship rounds on anything and everything in the world of sports as a whole. But we got to break down this whole saga. Good gosh, I'm talking too quick and I'm getting all out of breath. I'm already sweating and this thing just started. We got a show to do. We got boxing to cover. And since we're talking about boxing, first and foremost, it is time to step into the ring. Yeah, that's right. Ring the bell. Let's get it started. Round one of this show going underway as we got to a ratchet. Before we even get underway, real quick, let's discuss the world of who's here. Frank Lozano, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. What's up with you and all of your family and everybody that's tuning into the show? Also, yo, Trey, what's good with you? How you doing? Thanks for tuning into the show. We appreciate your time on this Tuesday afternoon. We got a lot, not doing a whole bunch to discuss, and we're so thankful for you and you being here. But let's see what you guys see. Ducking is the new bribing the judges and referees. There is a conversation. We're going to talk about that. But before we even talk about it, we got to get into the whole what the actual situation is, because some people may not know. So for those of you who don't know, as we're jumping into the first point of the day, Bivol gave up his belt. That's right. As you can see, Bivol gives up his belt, the WBC title, one of the 4 belts that he won from Artur Benavidez in their undisputed war that they had in the second go round, what we expected to be a trilogy, a phenomenal fight. Bivol got his revenge, became undisputed champion. It was all set to be initially that it was going to be that Bivol and Benavidez do go ahead and do the trilogy. Then that's not happening. Bivol goes and looks to get Benavidez. Turkey Al Sheikh said he doesn't want nothing to do with that fight, Bivol versus Benavidez. So that fight was going into a bidding war for what network would want to host that fight. I believe whatever the bidding situations that they normally do for championship fights. The day before the bid was supposed to start for people to buy the rights to the fight, Bivol sends a letter to the WBC and tells them essentially bluntly that he is giving up his belt and will pursue the trilogy with Artur Benavidez and get another shot at essentially breaking the tie in the rubber match that many people were excited to see, but it's not at all what we expected in this situation as we were waiting for the boxing landscape to unfold. So now we're all kind of just shook up a little bit. Wait a minute. It's crazy because initially we were so sure that finally after all these years, David Benavidez was going to get his rightful shot, going to get his right opportunity to become a champion, being able to actually fight the best for the belt. And now, no longer is that the case. And so, is this a duck? That's the question. That's really the question. That's the whole debacle. That's the biggest problem with all this. Is this a duck for Bivol to fight against Benavidez? Not for undisputed, but for the unified light heavyweight championship to break their rubber match. And for me, this isn't a duck. However, hold on. Wait a minute. I know how some of y'all feel right now.
Hey, look at this. We got some problems here.
We got some problems.
We got some problems here.
Jean-Luc, what are you saying? What do you mean this isn't a duck? How can you say that this is not a quintessential ducking scenario of a fighter avoiding the best competition available? The reason why I say that, I've kept this level of consistency whenever we talk about the sport of boxing. If you are A, going after a grudge match, B, fighting a better competitor, and or C, looking to unify or go after a championship and or moving up in weight, any of those types of scenarios, it is not a duck for you to avoid another fighter. Because in this situation, understand, Bivol and Benavidez, two essentially evenly matched fighters, both have a win over each other. We all said we wouldn't mind seeing that trilogy if it took place. We all understood that would be an incredibly tough affair if that did in fact happen. And because he is still going after, or rather, Benavidez doesn't have any of the titles. However, it was in the cards that we did want to see the trilogy. And because of the matchup that Benavidez is to Bivol, it is not like Bivol is taking a worse competitor on or downgrading his level. If anything, he's keeping it sustained, and depending on who you ask, Benavidez is better than the likes of Bivol. And some people feel that Benavidez is deserving of an opportunity to get his trilogy shot. And remember, I also said on this show that I wanted to see that fight sooner rather than later because of the age of Benavidez being 40 plus years old, at the time being one of, if not the second oldest champion in the world outside of Erislandy Lara, who was, I believe, 41, still kicking at middleweight, I believe. Or excuse me, at 154. But this fight is not a bad fight. It's just optically, and there is a legitimate argument that in reality, what should have happened is that Benavidez should have gotten this shot at the title. And so it's not a duck. However, it is how do we say this? It's not a duck, but it isn't something that is ideal for some of the population. A duck would be you're outright avoiding your hardest work. Benavidez is still one of Bivol's hardest work and was seen as deserving a rematch. Benavidez, however, is right there. It should have gotten the shot. And so now, where does this put Benavidez in all actuality? And for Benavidez, well, Benavidez is now world champion. Hey, my gosh. Benavidez, because of the results of Bivol relinquishing the WBC title, in order not to fight the mandatory, so he can fight the likes of Benavidez and give him a rematch. Now, he's a champion. He's a legitimate world champion, elevated from interim, now is a world champion after months and months of essentially being rung around of you're in line. You're the first, you get your shot. And it's a shame that it had to happen this way. Again, it's not a duck by Bivol. However, it is incredibly disheartening on the side of Benavidez because he moved up to this division to get an opportunity to be able to fight in the ring for the title. That's the whole reason why he moved up to light heavyweight, was because with Canelo being undisputed and him being interim WBC champion, the mandatory for a shot at the undisputed title, never getting it for over 3 years, fighting everybody to get there, being named, or shoot, even Suleiman himself, the president of WBC, told directly to a public crowd that Benavidez would be the champ. And then boom, still never got his shot. Then moves up, makes his own legacy, beats Gvozdyk, former champion, beats Morrell, hot prospect that was in line to fight with the likes of Canelo, was in those names, a very talented brother, wipes him out the water. Gets named in mandatory, and now again, when all he wants to do is prove himself in the ring against the best of the best in competition, he is robbed of that shot. And it just irks me to the core. It does. It really, really does. It's so painful because he deserves better. Also, yo, dude, what is it? H3RL? What's good with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in to the show. Glad that you're joining in. Right now, we're talking about Bivol relinquishing the titles and now Benavidez being a champion. And this is, it's bad on the side of Benavidez because we've talked about quote unquote email champions before. We got on Tank for getting a belt in the way that he got it at lightweight, as in not fighting for the title, but given the title by the division. Devin Haney ridiculed because he was given a title. As part of that trek to undisputed, he was given a title and emailed it, quote unquote, in his reign as champion. Now with Benavidez, same thing happened to him, but exactly what he didn't want to happen. And it really hurts because now people may say the same stuff that they're saying about all those other people on the side of Benavidez. And it's a completely different scenario. Because Benavidez hasn't been avoiding comp. Benavidez hasn't been working to get the easiest road to success. Benavidez has genuinely been operating exactly how we want every single boxer to operate when it comes to getting a world title or looking to be, at the tops of the game. Working his way, fighting the best of the best, making sure that he's tested, proven, hurt, everything that you would want in terms of like, oh, he's been rocked, he's been wobbled, he's been knocked down. But he's done it against the best of the best that the competition has to offer. And has never gone the safe route when it comes to being one of the best in the world. That's how he got the pound for pound, even with only one belt on his resume. Now, when it was like, hey, the time's finally arrived, it's a shame. It really is a shame. And like email champ and things like that, it is. This is why. Oh, actually, hold on. I think somebody else had another comment. Somebody else said, so here we go. Anyway, giving a title is not bad. It's business. And like, both of you are right. Yo, Trey, the email champ sentiments, this would be deemed as an email championship. And H3, you right. Getting a title this way is not bad, it's business. Both of you all are correct. Understand this. I have never, whenever we've talked about this, even when we talked about the likes of Devin Haney, Tank, and others, referring to the email champ moniker, I've always, or aimed to always, give a buffer before I say anything about their titles and how they got them. I was always adamant in saying, or tried to be adamant in saying, that it's not bad that the titles were gotten that way. Because, like you said, it is just business. It does sometimes just pan out that way. People, if the committee doesn't want to do a tournament or doesn't make a fight for the vacant title, it's not the boxers' fault that they were given a championship. It's not their fault if it were just bestowed upon a boxer. It's not their fault that they were given the moniker of, okay, you're the man now. They like again, it's just business. It's just what the business does for the fans of the sport, or haters more so than anything. Helps to put on a reputation that sullies or tries to sully the reputation of said fighter. Again, Devin Haney's career, part of the critiques was the fact that he was a quote-unquote email champion. Tank Davis, when he became champion at 135, I believe it was the WBA belt that he never won it in the ring. It was given to him by the commission or committee, or whoever was in charge of putting out the belts, and he never fought for said belt. Those situations were held against Tank. Other boxers who have been giving a title without having to fight for the title, it's been held against them. And if anything, they say, you're not a real champion. You're not really the man. You're not really the biggest dog in the room because of the situation. And so it's like it's a bad optic that breeds a distrust in your talent for the outside boxing fan, or again, boxing hater. And they are loud. They are ruckus. They will run amok and they will make this and turn this into something that really it shouldn't be. Especially on the side of Benavidez, who has been the consummate warrior that we have all asked for when it comes to be the best that you can inside of the ring. And it's just a shame that he's getting it this way. Instead of showing his talent, instead of being able to get a shot at Bivol, instead of being able to have an opportunity to beat the man that beat David Benavidez, or excuse me, and to be able to beat the man who beat Canelo, and have the ultimate trump card to finally get the fight that he has been craving, that we all have been craving for the upwards of 4 years, 5, if we're being completely honest. We have been waiting on this, and this was the way. And now it's been of no fault of Benavidez's own. It wasn't given away. It's a shame. It really is a shame. But let me see what you all have to say. Let's see. H3, Bivol dropped the belt for a business decision. David filled the vacant position. You're absolutely right. And let me touch on that now, real quick. Bivol dropped it because I again, wanted to go after Benavidez. I need to know how much money Turkey Al Sheikh threw his way for that fight to be made happen. Because initially it was going to be, initially it was, I'll think about it, kind of kept it under wraps, we'll be willing to fight. But like, Benavidez was seemingly that was what his goal was. Now that it changed, shoot, I want to know what type of money got thrown his way. It's a business decision, no question. I just want to know how much business it was. That's intriguing to me. But let's see. But Jay Will, what's good with you? How you doing? Thanks for tuning in to the show. What up with you? The What Up the Watch Report. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show. Justin Kemp, how you doing? Appreciate you joining in on the ride that is this show. I appreciate it so much. Y'all have been wonderful. We appreciate all the support. No question. Let's see. They tried Ennis like that, but Ennis had the skills for sure. He does. He absolutely does. Now, his biggest test might be Stanionis is happening is it this Saturday? Is it this weekend? Is he fighting this weekend? I think he's fighting this weekend. I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right. I think his biggest test is going to be against Stanionis this weekend. We're going to have to wait and see how his skills pair up against him. But everything else, yeah. Skills paid the bills. And you're absolutely right. No question. No question in my mind. He did show that his medal was indeed worth it. Absolutely. And so, but let's see. Does Benavidez have skills is the question. He does. Absolutely, he does. And thank you, by the way. Yes, this Saturday, for those of you who don't know, we'll talk about Boots as well. This Saturday, Boots Ennis is fighting versus Stanionis for I believe to unify the titles, if at minimum to defend his own. But I think ultimately to unify and take Stanionis' belt, or at least try to. Tune in on this Saturday for that to be the case. We're going to talk about it, I believe, on this show and shoot on Thursday as well. It's going to be exciting. Okay, yep, so it is unification. Yep, that's what I thought. I just wanted to verify and make sure. I got this long list of notes, so I ain't got everything. I got to kind of scroll to try to find it with this jumble mess that I got going on. So it's that. So no, yeah, it's going to be good. That fight's going to be good. That fight is going to be a good fight. I'm excited. And it's in Atlantic City. Oh, I didn't know it was in Atlantic City. Shoot. All right. It's going to be great. I'm excited for it. Cheers to the Sixers. I don't know if they're making a comeback this year. All right, we'll talk about the NBA a little bit later. I don't know if this statement is true because the Sixers, buddy, they're kind of in a bad way right now. But let's see, Raven Ford versus that is on. Oh, that is coming. Oh, I forgot about that fight. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. That is gonna be a good fight. Oh, I forgot that was the co-main event. I forgot Raven Ford was fighting in the main event. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. But again, we got that'll be for the champion. Don't forget. Again, remember, we will have the championship rounds later on. When this pops up, we can talk about all this and more. But we got to keep on schedule. Sadly, with the whole thing with David Benavidez, we'll talk about that in terms of the world of the NBA, because I got a lot of stuff I want to say on that. But sticking with this right now, let me see what y'all have to say in reaction to this whole news of Bivol dropping the belt and essentially not fighting David Benavidez. Turkey said he wanted the trilogy next, and Bivol's with him now, so why would he burn that bridge over the WBC belt? Plus, Turkey, I bet, is paying more than Bivol would make versus Benavidez. And, like, you're not wrong. That's the thing. You're not wrong. Like H3 said this earlier, like, you are not wrong at all that I want to know how much money he's getting paid by Turkey, because I know it's a bunch. Because we know that Benavidez's fans and just what Benavidez is as a fighter would bring out people. Again, we're not saying it's going to bring out tank levels. We will bring out a lot of people. It would be an exciting fight, and people would want to tune in. And this would be the budding platform, or rather the launching point, if he did beat or just to fight Bivol, to turn him into that megastar that we have been saying he had been robbed of getting that opportunity to fully become, not because of his fighting ability or his skill set or his entertainment value, but just because that win or that fight would have been the catalyst to take him over that hump that many people feel, myself included, Benavidez has been stuck by, of no fault of his own. Business-wise, the amount of money Bivol is going to get for fighting Beterbiev from Turkey is going to be copious. It's going to be stupid. It's going to be ridiculous from the standpoint of monetarily. So I ain't got no issue with that. This is also a fight that we did want to see. Or at least, we were not mad at seeing again, because how close and competitive the first two affairs already were. They were a match made perfect for each other. They are built for each other to fight. It naturally, just how they fight, makes a great fight every time out. That can flip-flop either way. So because of that, it's not that the fight is bad. Hence why I said it's not a duck that Benavidez is not fighting Bivol, because of the whole context of this fight. However, still, it's a disappointment. We can at least say that. It's a disappointment, because many of us were set in saying, okay, Benavidez is finally going to get what he deserves. He's finally going to get his just due. Get the shot he's been waiting on. Get the shot he didn't get with Canelo. Now up here, gets a shot at a just as big of a prize, undisputed, against, at this point in time, the best light heavyweight in the world. To prove that this man is not just all that, because we know he's all that in the bag of chips, but that he is indeed one of the best, period. That's what we all wanted, and that would have been the fight. And it's just a shame that this way is the way that it got kind of stripped away from. So it's like, it's sad for me. It just hurts. You see, Bivol went through an attorney to inform WBC about relinquishing the belt because he does not want to answer the hard questions from WBC fans and media. Bivol ducking is facts. And it's like how he sent the letter doesn't really faze me. His people and all that stuff, every boxer has a team around him. They got people that will work with them to send stuff to them. Some, sure, yeah, they'll talk directly. Others, yeah, they'll send a team. I'm not concerned about the means. It's more about the fight. Now, again, for me, I don't see it as much of a duck as just a disappointment. Because, like I keep on saying, what we know that fight with Benavidez is. If it was a duck, he would be taking lesser competition or somebody that's not nearly as hard to fight as the likes of Benavidez. But that's not the case at all. Splitting 1-1 to go back for the trilogy with a man who, hey, the brother could lose outright. It's still a 50-50 fight with how they go right now. And so it's up in the air. We know it's up in the air. So it's not a duck from that sense because of the surrounding circumstances and context of that opponent in that fight. I just hate that this is happening to David Benavidez as, the person that I know he is. And it's for me, it hurts. It hurts bad for me. Let's see. Benavidez versus Bivol is the fight I want next, but I can't tell him. But I can't call him a duck. Benavidez is pound for pound fighter. He is absolutely, and it's like with that fight. Well, actually, hold on, wait a minute. Let me read your thing real quick, and then I'm gonna give you all a thought. Exactly like. Yeah. Okay, I had to make sure I almost lost my thought for a second. I had to get it back. But let me read this and then I'm gonna say what I'm thinking. Exactly not like Bivol's fighting Berlanga or Munguia, if you know what I mean. Absolutely. That's any other fighter. This would be a duck scenario. Anybody else in the division, this would have been a duck scenario. Excuse me, we got some people cutting grass outside the neighborhood. So if you hear something, my apologies. And so, but if it was Callum Smith, if it was Buatsi, even though those two again are great and put on a phenomenal war, if it was anybody else, Gvozdyk in the rematch, Dave Morrell, anybody else except for Benavidez, this would be seen as a duck, and I would wholeheartedly be on board. But because it's not, and only because it's Benavidez, and what we were saying previously about that matchup with Bivol and Benavidez is why I'm saying this isn't a duck, because we understand what that brings. Listen, Bivol said he wanted to do, Bivol said he would do what the fans wanted. Apparently not. He's doing what Turkey wants him to do. And it's like that money, the money's serious. The money's serious. But you have to understand, full disclaimer, I'm not trying to vouch for Turkey Al-Sheikh one way or the other. I ain't got no favoritism, nor am I getting paid, nor do I have any allegiance to anybody. I don't care who is promoting or where the fight is. I could care less. I care about the fight in and of itself. That's what I like to talk about. That's what we here love to talk about. And when we talk about that, we have to understand that the reason why I have been high on Turkey is because the majority of the moves that he's been making, when it comes to even paying people big bucks, it has been because those big bucks come with a competitive, legitimately hard fight. And if you want to pay, you got to go through the work and you got to risk your legacy in some way, shape, or form. It can't just be an easy ride. And so even though, he's paying big bucks for this trilogy and he wants it to happen, it can't be that this is a bad situation, because even the whims of what Turkey would want his boxers to do who are under his regime, it is still it's still skewed to what the fans would like to see. Even in situations where it's not the most, where it's not the most wanted thing. And in this situation, yeah, it's not the most wanted thing. And I hate it. And I hate the fact that he's going back, if that is what he said. Because again, I haven't seen that quote. But if Bivol did say that he wants to give the fans what they wanted, and then this is the fight the fans wanted, and now you're not doing it, then yeah, that is a problem. Absolutely. I'll fully attest to it. I ain't got no problem with it. But still, this is not a bad fight. It's not. And if anything, this may be good. It could be. And I would have to see. And I would have to see. But first, let me see what you all have to say more in the chat, because this is great. Also, if you haven't already, leave a like on the stream. If you would, we got people coming in left, right, and center. We love it. We appreciate it. Absolutely. We love the discourse. We love the conversation. And to get even more people involved, come on, leave a like on the stream. Share it with anybody and everybody that you know, so we can keep on building up this channel to get us subscribed. If you haven't already, we're making this the best that we can do. It's all thanks to you and everybody watching and listening. So if you would, do my heart good, leave a like on the stream, and I would love, it would mean something to me, no problem. But let's see, how much do you think Benavidez versus Bivol pay-per-view does? I bet it's not worth Turkey's offering guaranteed. Yeah, most likely it wouldn't, just straight up guaranteed money. Most likely it would. Even if it got made here in the States, where Benavidez is indeed incredibly popular. Even if it got it's, and again, that in and of itself is because, not just because of the cachet of both fighters, which are indeed, they are high. They would make a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't be near what Turkey's doing. No question, because Turkey right now is the fountain of youth when it comes to everybody making back money that like they can, or making money that they felt that they never could make before. It's incredible. So most likely not. I can't put a specific number, but I do know it would be drastically lower, just because of the sheer volume of money that we know Turkey would be able to bring to the table, guaranteed, before any pay-per-view buys, or any sort of, before even any pre-sale. Guaranteed, outright, sign on a dotted line, this is what you making just if you step foot. Probably would be more. I can't deny that. I can't. And the gap might be closer if Benavidez had gotten the opportunities that he deserved earlier, which would have pushed his star even bigger. But because they haven't gotten there yet, like I said before, the ability to make money on his own has been capped not by his own volition, but because the boxing world is the boxing world. He just keeps getting the short end of the stick. And he's been at this hump, this kind of stagnation. It's like there's enough pressure in the bottle for it to explode, but it just won't do it yet because it hasn't hit the right spot. And every time he's about to do it, something or someone knocks that trajectory or that opportunity off its course. And so, yeah, that's why in this situation, at this point in time, he can't compete with the amount of money the Turkey would be able to give him. And so that's what's going on. Also, Al Booger, what's good with you? How you doing? Thanks for tuning into the show. No question. We appreciate you coming on right now. We got a lot of people coming on the chat. Is Benavidez still saying he won't fight over in Saudi, only wants to be in America? I don't know. I can't validate that, but I will check up on it after the show. Can't validate that claim. Don't know anything if that is true or not. So I can't speak on it. And I'll be really fine. And so, but again, I can't speak on it, so I don't know. So we'll wait until then. But let's see. Hey, yo, Terrence Crawford, what's good with you? Now, if this is the real one, hey, champ, welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming. See, didn't I tell you all, we got the biggest, this is the best community in the world. It's not, you don't get Terrence Crawford coming into the chat just for anybody. Oh yeah, this is the real deal. Oh yeah, but nah, dude, if you are the real one, appreciate you coming through. If you ain't, we appreciate you anyway. We're glad that you're here. Appreciate you, bud. Glad. How you doing, champ? Are you ready for Canelo? Hopefully you got to cut down to what? 270 by now, at least as the months wind down to later on in the year. Tell me, update me on your progress if you can, if you're the real one. If you're just a fan, hey, great. We love to see it. How do you feel about Terrence Crawford? How do you feel about Canelo? All this stuff and much more. We'll be able to touch on. We'll love to hear your thoughts and opinions. But we appreciate you anyway. Terrence Crawford. Good to see you. So, oh boy, I'm telling you, we getting big stars here. I think you don't know who may come through the door on the Welch Report. That's why this is the hottest show in all the globe, no question about it. And so, since Bivol is out of the question, and Benavidez is now technically WBC champ, well, now he's officially been confirmed by WBC president as indeed the world champion currently right now. So there's no technical. It's in actuality, it's fully cemented now. I believe they changed the rankings and everything already. Wouldn't it make sense for him to fight Callum Smith, the WBC interim? Absolutely. I was about to get there. Absolutely. Definitely. This is perfect. Because I was getting ready to touch on this very fight right here. I'm gonna get back to this comment. Legitimately. I'm gonna get back to this, but it hits the nail on the head. And say, I'll fight that Monday. Yes. If people don't, hey, look, on that podcast with what was it? Pound for pound with Usman and Cejudo. Hey, you said that, hey, you might as well fight a heavyweight if you're gonna fight David Benavidez. So it's hey, if this is breaking news, great. Yeah, you got your two voices. I don't know what to believe. Right now. But hey, if you do it, it'll make it great. No question. Give me all the smoke. Hey, I'm here for it. Let's make it happen. Absolutely. Let's see. Anthony Yard fights this month on Eubanks and Ben's card. He beats Arthur. He'll want a big fight next. I think. Hopefully, you mean if he beats Eubanks, because he got beat by Arthur Benavidez before, got knocked out in a very competitive fight. If he wins on that card, then he'll want another big shot. I understand that. I'm excited to see him back in the ring. Let's see him get a knockout in his return. And if he does win, yes, work his way back up the ladder to get a shot at a title. No question. Oh boy, let me say something, Terrence. You got that dog in you. I love it. I love to see it. Absolutely. Lyndon Arthur. My bad. I'm sorry. You're right. Lyndon Arthur. He's fighting against Lyndon. Not against. I got like 2-3 Arthurs to try to keep track of right now. With the amount of B's, Benavidez, Bivol, and Benavidez, Arthur Benavidez, Lyndon Arthur, and a couple other Arthurs I've been trying to keep up with. It's a lot. So excuse me, but regardless of which, we'll see. Let me see. And MS, I'm about to get to you. You gotta do all you gotta do is jab Canelo to death, avoid counters. He hates a good jab. People beat that boy with a consistent jab and hard straight lefts. Hey, it's one tactic. Now I will say, Terrence, if you get caught wrong, it's gonna be a fight of your life. I think you can do it. I can give you a shot to win, no question. And if you do, brother, you'll be ranking up the ladder. But my gosh, it's just a tall task. But we believe in you. We think you can do it. Personally, I picked Canelo to win, but I think you can do it. Hey, don't let that fool you. Don't let it fool you. I still think you can win. I may pick Canelo, but I think you can do it. I do think you can get the upset. Prove me wrong. Absolutely. I want to see that happen. Prove me wrong. But real quick, MS, you had a comment earlier, and I wanted to touch on. Here we go. With the interim champ, this can still be good for the likes of Benavidez. You got to follow. Benavidez becomes the legitimate champion. Benavidez and Bivol, they have their grudge match, or they have their trilogy. Benavidez goes and faces off against Callum Smith, like MS is talking. Boom. Phenomenal fight. We assume Benavidez wins. After which, now, Terrence Crawford and Canelo would have fought by then, I believe. Now the cards are set up. If, and then again, this is if we see Crawford lose to Canelo, and Canelo doesn't pull out the victory, then it would be Benavidez would have a direct shot at forcing Canelo to come up by finally getting a shot at Benavidez at that point. Or Bivol. Or excuse me, Benavidez or Bivol. Either one. And this could be good or a better route because now it lets him get even more acclimated into the realm of light heavyweight. Again, he's only 2 fights in. Oh, excuse me. One. Yeah, he's only 2 fights into light heavyweight. From Gvozdyk to David Morrell, Benavidez improved drastically from the standpoint of defensive nuance, combinations, getting caught flush. He got caught in terms of the big damaging shots that we saw Gvozdyk land on Benavidez. He got caught a lot less against the likes of Morrell. Yes, he got rocked twice. Once off a counter and the other one after the bell. But those were the 2 best shots that Morrell landed on Benavidez all night long. Because the majority of the time, Benavidez was either on the back foot or his offense was getting nullified by the elevated quality defense that we see Benavidez implement from a round-by-round basis. In that fight, it was incredible. It was phenomenal. You saw the growth before all of our eyes and what Benavidez was turning into as a fighter. Even though he can get rocked in this division, and even though his power is not the same in terms of its concussive ability as it used to be at 168, as a well-rounded boxer, he's gotten better. If he is able to fight Callum Smith before fighting the likes of Bivol, who, like we saw Bivol be against Artur Beterbiev, he can be a high-volume type fighter. This would give him better preparation to actually be able to achieve fighting and winning the likes of Bivol, or winning against the likes of Bivol. And then if he does do that, now you would get the baddest version of Benavidez reigning as undisputed champion. Now concretely beating the man that beat the likes of Canelo. And Canelo, with 3 fights left in his contract with Turki Al-Sheikh, one of those is going to be at light heavyweight. I almost guarantee. He's been wanting his get back at light heavyweight for years. Initially, it was only against Bivol. But now, we could see a real track where we see Benavidez fight against the likes of Canelo. Because Benavidez was able to beat Bivol. Again, it's a long-winded thing. It's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts gotta happen. But it is a pathway that we can finally get that fight that we've been all asking for upwards of 4 to 5 years. And it could be the best version of that fight because Benavidez would be the best he's ever been. And with the way he's been elevating and evolving his game, his style, his abilities, from the late stages to 168 all the way into 175 right now. And it's not like he's going to stop. It's not like he's just going to sit down and say, okay, I'm a champion, I'm going to do whatever. We know at minimum what Benavidez is about. That butt is about smoke. Literally nothing but smoke. Nothing but smoke is all that he craves. And so because of that, like this man, like we know, he's always going to keep on taking on the best of the best. But now that he's at the top, it's only so far that can go before he finally gets exactly what he wants. And so this could be a pathway. So that's why I say this could be a potential blessing in disguise. Not saying it's fully. Not saying it's going to be absolute. We still hate that we're not getting Bivol and Benavidez. But this could be a better option to get not just a better fight when that fight does ultimately happen, or if it's Benavidez versus Benavidez, whichever one wins the rubber match. But it would ultimately make for a better fighter in Benavidez when he takes on the likes of Bivol, Benavidez, or Canelo within the span of the next 2 years, from what I'm estimating when that fight does happen. So that's where I'm thinking. That's where I'm sitting. And that's where I'm proposing that this could be good and not all horrible like we all see it to be right now. But again, we'd love to hear your thoughts if anybody else has anything they would like to say on the topic. But if not, shoot, I forgot to bring my drink. I needed something like some water or something. I completely forgot to get my stuff. Shoot, it's okay. I'll be fine. I'll work through it. I'll talk through it. No problem. It's a shame they couldn't do Benavidez versus Callum in the co-main for Benavidez Bivol main event and winners fight after. It is, but like, I mean, we got Smith versus Joshua Buatsi, and like that fight was great. And so we still got a good fight. We did. I wish it was that we got on the undercard. No question. But it's even now, most likely Callum Smith versus Benavidez, that fight's gonna happen. That fight will be on its own card. That fight will most likely be a main event. That'll be a good main event. That'll be a great main event. That will be a headliner that people, if you watched and if you were here, we all watched that fight together on this stream. You saw Callum Smith versus Buatsi. It was a phenomenal fight. And so, of course, we all know what Callum Smith can do. And that fight, that fighter, that style against the likes of Benavidez, oh, that'd be great to see. Oh, that'd be phenomenal to see. I can't wait to see. But let's see. Hey, Jay Will, Keith Thurman versus Tszyu, or Tszyu. What you gonna do? Keith Thurman wants you. Perfect segue for the next topic of the show, which is, hey, Tszyu come in. Yes, indeed. We got to see Tszyu come back and knock out Spencer in his resurgence after getting KO'd himself by Bakram Murtazali. Essentially murder, she wrote all over the body and face of Tszyu, absolutely destroying that brother. And one of the most visual performances that we saw last year now got to be on a comeback trail. And what happened? We got to see him potentially shake off the shadow of Sebastian Fundora. Potentially, hypothetically. Remember, one of the big things about that fight with Murtazali was the fact that he was pawing at that cut that he had at the top of his head. Almost scared that he had blood. He was bleeding from there. Again, a little bit of PTSD that he got from that fight, potentially. May have affected that performance, even though Bakram just outright did what he needed to do. Just destroyed the brother. But regardless of which, we saw him come back. And did these shadows of the past come back to dissuade him? No, it didn't. Hey, it was actually a really good performance. It was a phenomenal performance. He went through, was throwing hard, sharp combinations, was still fighting like the Tszyu of old. He, again, still starting out a little bit slower for my taste, but ironically enough, even by that slow pace, did start out a little bit quicker from his normal pace. Again, still slow, but it's faster than what we normally see. Was still confident in his power, throwing sharp combinations to the body and to the head, doubling up on shots and breaking through the guard, not being scared of the power that could come against him or the offense that could come against him, and instead being ultra confident in what he can do. Defensively, hey, it's still kind of early. For me, it's still kind of early, but we may have seen some better defensive attributes from the side of Tszyu. Still needs to be a little bit better, a lot better, if I'm being completely honest. But regardless of which, still, there was some level of improvement. Was getting to the corner, was still walking and stalking, showed the power, showed the grit, was breaking up Spencer's face, and was legitimately doing some great damage and opening up when Spencer got on the ropes and was hurt. It was a great confidence booster. It was a great mental breakthrough that seemingly was holding him back in the last fight. And it seems to be that this is where Tszyu needs to be. And he's back on track to make a road back to a world title. Yes, indeed. Hey, it's great. It's phenomenal. And we love to see it. And so, yeah, and let's see. Good performance by Tszyu, but man, Joey Spencer he looked so tiny. Tim was just able to, Tim was able to walk him down and land the heavier shots. No question about it. He did for what he was in this fight. In terms of he looked big, and he looked full, and he looked legitimately strong. Again, like the Tim Tszyu before the whole Murtaza situation. And so he did what he was supposed to do. This is what we have been asking for. Do what you're supposed to do and fight like we know you can fight. And he did just that, which was great and phenomenal. And so now, like you said before, excuse me. Yeah, you got something else. Tim Tszyu stopped Spencer in 4 earlier than Ramos could, who did it in 7, which was impressive. Again, we knew what Tim Tszyu was. We were trying to figure out if he could get back there. I knew he could end it within 4. He could have ended it within 3. If he really wanted to put his pedal to the metal, he could have. But it's the fact that, hey, we know the power that you have and the offensive ability. Don't, 1, get better defensively, 1. But 2, be confident in your offensive ability and don't let that loss to Murtaza make it so that you are scared to throw and not use your biggest weapon. And we saw that wasn't the case. All around great performance. We love it. Now, this brings up a question of going against Keith Thurman. Like you said, Tim Tszyu, what you going to do? Keith Thurman's coming for you. Keith Thurman wants you. Keith Thurman's looking for you. Out of retirement, now looking for smoke with everybody going around. And I think that this is going to be a fight that initially, because I didn't know what Tszyu would look like, a little bit concerned. However, now, I'm excited for it. However, now, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it now. I'm ready for that fight now. I would, the only thing I would want, maybe get actually, no, I can't even say that. Either the first fight or the next fight is Tim Tszyu versus Thurman, or Thurman gets one more fight, and then that fight happens. Tszyu, I don't think should take any more fights outside of the Thurman fight. Thurman, I think because of the ring rust, I would not be mad if he took one more fight before ultimately fighting Tim Tszyu. Because again, there was some timing issues in the last fight, or in his last fight. The power was still there. The footwork wasn't as clean as it used to be, again, because of the 3 years out of the ring. That's different. Still, if it was to come to it, and this fight got made next, I wouldn't be mad at all. I love it. I would absolutely love it. It would be great. Oh, it would be phenomenal. Because now it's like, it makes sense. It would be entertaining. It would be tactical and aggressive. They'll both go for broke when necessary. And they can both box with each other, though I think Thurman is slightly a better boxer. From a power standpoint, the ability to walk you down and potentially nullify that boxing ability, Tszyu's got it. It's a great matchup on the whole, with two people in the rightful positions of we're both rebuilding. This is good. I would love to see that. And listen, I think Thurman is the fight to make for you. No question. Hey, I completely agree. Again, my thing is, the only concern is ring rust on the side of Thurman. I would like that to be shaken off a little bit more with one more fight, even if it's against a bump. Just one more fight, just to get back fully comfortable, and then boom, make the fight with Tim Tszyu. But yeah, if the fight was made outright, I'd have no problem with it. I'm absolutely ready. Let's make it happen. Let's do it. Let's do it outright. From Thurman versus Tszyu, gonna be a banger. It's gonna be exciting. The trash talk's gonna be great. Oh, the build-up's gonna be phenomenal. Tim Tszyu isn't the best of talkers, but he can at least hold his own a little bit. And we know what Keith Thurman is when it comes to being somebody who talks the talk, either to get under your skin, to rhyme scheme with the best of them, to make it so that everybody tunes in, to either see him get beat or see him beat somebody. Love him or hate him, but he knows how to sell a fight. Oh, and the fight itself is going to live up to the hype. So I'm excited for it. I don't want to see it. If I'm Tszyu, I want the fight in Australia, not in America. Shoot. Yeah, you right. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong at all. Shoot, if you're Thurman, it's probably vice versa. It's probably you would want it in the States instead of in Australia. Now, I would like it in the States because it's still two incredibly marketable names that here in the States, again, if you market it right, I think it would sell a lot more in my humble estimation. But still, it isn't something, wherever it happens. The biggest thing is make it happen. That's the biggest thing. I would like it in America more than the States because I think the ability to make the glitz and glamour more poignant for the globe to be able to witness would be more advantageous. But still, either way, wherever it is, the fight just needs to happen. That's my biggest thing. It's about happening next. The timing is too perfect for the booking to make that happen. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. So we're excited for it. So I can't wait to see it. Now, who do you think would win? That's a whole nother question. I feel like that's a whole nother conversation. Me personally, I would have Tszyu winning over Thurman as it stands right now in a close competitive affair because of the off timing that I saw with Thurman in his last fight. And again, when that fight does get made, we will break this down a whole lot more. But for a quick synopsis of my current thoughts, my thing is right now, I would favor Thurman or Tszyu over Thurman because of the ring rust, timing issues, and the footwork that isn't quite where it used to be. Now, I get that he's older. But this is different. I'm not talking about he's older, so he can't use his legs like he used to. I'm talking about how he uses his legs. It's still kind of uncomfortable. It's not as balanced. It's not as second nature as when he was in the ring full time, consistently boxing, consistently fighting, and not doing the stuff that he was doing all across the world. Getting married, having his kid. At least, I think he did some other stuff as well, which all is great. We love it that he's building up a family and doing phenomenal. But just in the ring, I can't deny what I'm seeing and potentially what could be a problem. But again, as time goes on, the more we see Thurman in the gym, the more we see Thurman training, the more we probably get rumors of people coming in and training with him, stories and whatnot, all that stuff. It could change. Stuff could change. Evidence could give me something more to think about. But regardless of which, that fight just needs to happen. No question. I know he's old, but I'm picking one time. Hey, he's still got the power. He's still got the pop. He can be crafty. His ability to set traps and time you is still incredible. And it's still very much something to be concerned about. No question. His offense is still something that can give anybody, especially Tszyu, with what we saw the likes of Murtazali do to him. Oh, it can give him some trouble. It can be a problem. It can be a major problem. No question about it. Yes, it can. So I ain't got no problem with it. I'm picking Tszyu right now. But I can easily see why people would pick the likes of Keith Thurman, especially with the track record that Thurman has had before his extended absence from the game. It's not hard to justify that at all. So I completely get what you're saying. And yeah, skills pay the bills. He has underrated slickness that I think because of his time away from the ring, people may have forgot. But he can be slick. He can be really slick. I'm like slick as oil when he wants to be on his best day, with power to boot. And so it's a danger. Every twist and turn that he does against you, and his offensive ability to be able to fake either up or down, body or head, and make everything believable and draw you into a mistake. It's incredible. We can't even at this stage right now. It's still phenomenal. So no, he's a dog. He's a dog. He's absolutely a dog. And if you pick him, completely see it. But I got Tszyu for my money. But even still, we got some more stuff to cover in the world of sports as we know right now, as with some other sports and boxing news, like with the likes of. We had a ton of fights happening over the course of this weekend. We also got some NBA, but real quick, let's cover the fights real quick. We have Filip Hrgović versus Joe Joyce in a situation where Joe Joyce got beat again, yet again. Oh gosh, oh no, oh. That's the third time the Juggernaut's momentum has been stopped. Now, he didn't get knocked out, and it was a very close competitive fight. But Hrgović, I believe, put out a unanimous decision, if I got it written down correctly. Unanimous decision against Joe Joyce. And now for Filip Hrgović, this is good. Back in the win column, another notch in his belt. Genuinely great in terms of, okay, yeah, he's back on the side of, he's not out of the contending picture yet. Cool. Joe Joyce, however, now this begs the question, or should he retire? That's what is on everybody's mind right now. This is your fourth loss in 5 fights. Is it time for you to hang it up? You've been stopped by Zhang. You've been knocked out by Zhang. You got beat by Derek Chisora and knocked down. And now you lose against Filip Hrgović. Is it time for you to wrap it up and go home? I would say no, because of how competitive this fight was. And Filip Hrgović is indeed a good fighter. Joe Joyce wasn't whitewashed in this fight. No, it was close. Some say a little bit sloppy, but it was close. Absolutely. And it was engaging. Joe Joyce is still a competitive fighter. But the only way he can get back to where he wants to be, the brother would have to improve and retool his skill set. And he can't, not at this age. He's 38, 39 years old. And so unless he pulls a Derek Chisora and just through grit and determination, all of a sudden just goes on a comeback trail. I'm not saying he needs to retire, but I think his days as an elite competitive title contender, I think now we're gone. For me, I think now we're gone. And then we also got the likes of, Abdullah Mason and another knockout win. If some of y'all want to talk, well, actually, before we talk about Abdullah Mason, let me see what you all have to say. Let's see. He can't call himself the Juggernaut anymore. I mean, look, he still has one of the best chins in that division. He does. It's been chipped in wear and tear over time. Yeah. Even the greatest of steel, enough once it gets hit, will bend. And that's where Joyce is right now. And so it's crazy. Joyce stopped arguably 2 of the hottest boxers today in Dubois and Parker, but loses to old Chisora and Hrgović. Yeah. And it's because Dubois and Parker evolved. They evolved. Parker evolved, got better immensely. At this point in time, now he's potentially fighting Usyk. Dubois got better mentally and physically. Fighting style and mentality to implement the fighting style. The will to never quit now was something he never had before. And he lost to Joe Joyce and to Usyk. Almost lost a third time to a brother who knocked him down 3 times. And all of a sudden now it's completely different. Joe Joyce, after his loss to Zhang, could not evolve. If he tries to be anything outside of himself, he turns into a shell of himself. The Juggernaut, if he tries to be anything except for the Juggernaut, he stops his own momentum, which is ironic to say the least. It's ironic to say the least. If Joe Joyce tries to fight like anything except the Joe Joyce that we know him to be, the Juggernaut literally slows down his own self and beats himself. So he can't fight any other way except for this. It ain't gonna win him at everything, absolutely. But if he does anything other than this, he's a worse boxer for it. So he's got to stick to this style. Because at this point in time, I don't think he can really evolve. Joyce could be a setup for Wilder, maybe. And I like Wilder versus Joyce. I love that fight. But I love the fight. I just can't stand the outcome. Because I don't know the outcome. That is as much of a swing fight as anything. I'm so serious. Because we don't know what Wilder's coming back against Herndon. We don't know what Wilder's going to look like in that fight. Depending on how Wilder looks in that fight, if it's the same Wilder that we see now, that Wilder against Joe Joyce could very well knock out Joe Joyce within 3 rounds because he's got the power of Zhang. However, that Wilder also can get knocked out within 3 rounds if he fights against Joe Joyce because of how Wilder fights and who he is. And so it's like, it's so swing. It's such a wide curve for what can happen in that fight, though the outcome is almost assuredly going to be the same, either a knockout for Wilder or a knockout for Joe Joyce. But the possibilities as to how and why that can happen, brother, is up in the air. It's literally up in the air. Because Wilder is such a different fighter from what he used to be. And he's acted, he has changed, but it's for the worse. Joe Joyce can't change, but he won't get any better. And so it's like, who do you value this worst version of Wilder more than you do this stagnated version of Joyce? Because Joyce can't go up, but Wilder keeps going down. But how far down does Wilder have to go before we start saying Joyce is going to be able to win? Could that level be there right now? Could it be there right now on the even playing field? There's so much to think about because of how the careers have gone over just a couple of years. It's preposterous. Like if Wilder fails to pull the trigger on that right hand and gets a gunshot against Joyce and Joyce walks him down, well, it ain't going to be like Wilder can just push him off of him and box with him. Because if you apply, literally, this matchup is a perfect dichotomy of chaos and destruction because both fighters are built for each other. Literally. Deontay Wilder, if you come in recklessly against Wilder and he lands, you're dead. Joe Joyce, his whole game plan is to come in recklessly, just about recklessly. No great defense, just his chin, and overwhelm you with size and offense. However, the best way to beat Deontay Wilder is to overwhelm him with size and offense. And so Joe Joyce can, like you see, it's literally the perfect way to beat Joyce is Wilder. And the perfect way to beat Wilder is literally Joe Joyce from a stylistic matchup. I don't know where this can go. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. I don't know where this fight can go. It's almost like, why was this fight made sooner? When you think about it, somebody who can eat shots, come on the inside, and just straight up with slow punches, literally wind up and land on you. And with this sheer mass and durability, is able to close the gap and do damage. And then doggone it, Wilder, the best way that he can win is that pinpoint accurate thing with your butt coming in on the inside, and then you go through and get caught and put to sleep because you ain't got no defense to block anything. Joe Joyce ain't got no head movement. His block is terrible. You can punch through it. He can't move his head and it off left or right. He can't fight backing up. Neither can Wilder. And so, like, I don't know. It is honestly almost laughable how perfect this fight is, even though where they are in this stage of their career. It's like, well, doggone it, either this is going to be incredibly boring, incredibly one-sided, or it's going to be fight of the year. It's like literally, it's going to be one of those 3 instances. We're either going to be let down or it's going to be fight of the year. because of how they fight. But regardless of which, somebody's going to sleep. And so, it's preposterous, but it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. My gosh, I cannot believe they haven't fought sooner. The more I think about it, that's crazy. No, that's wild. That is absolutely wild. Wilder versus Francis Ngannou. Wilder better choose carefully. It like at this point, any of the against Wilder, anybody is a competent matchup, just about, of the boxing world. And again, Ngannou. Even though, like we saw what happened against AJ versus Ngannou, one big lead right hand or a big raw right hand put him to sleep. Yeah, Wilder can do that, absolutely. But that's outside of that. Like Wilder's optics or prospects for him to be competitive and win is shrinking more and more because of our faith in his ability has continued to dwindle more and more and more. And it's like it makes for every fight with Wilder now is indeed it's almost 50-50, if not outright 50-50. Not because you think somebody's better or worse, but because objectively, we don't know what Wilder we're going to get, and we don't know how he's going to fight. And that alone can make him competitive with even the worst type of boxer. And with the best type of boxers, we know he can fight up to the level of them, but it's harder for us to see that he can get up there. So we know his ceiling. We've seen his floor. We don't know where he's going to fall in between. And so it makes for every fight with him competitive. And yeah, France is also a good opponent. If in fact it did happen, Wilder fighting a tomato can until, Terrell Herndon. It makes sense. I mean, we covered this last episode. You might not have been here. You might not have been able to catch the last episode, but we covered it. He said, should be up. Is it up? I'll check after the show to make sure. Hopefully, though, I'll check and see. But he is fighting Terrell Herndon, and it is happening. However, this makes sense because Wilder needs to retool fully. Wilder cannot just come back and fight against somebody anywhere close to competitive nature. He can't. At this stage, right now, we can't. If you want to see Wilder come back and be able to get one last hoo-ah and look like the Wilder that you know, he can't come back against somebody that is good. Not yet. Not right now. I said this after that third Wilder loss. I said this after the second Wilder loss. Or excuse me, I said this after both the third and second Fury losses. He needed to go back, fight 3 or 4 bums, retool and regroup his skill set, potentially even get a new trainer, and then come back and train a specific skill every single fight until ultimately you are a better, well-rounded boxer. That's what I said Wilder needed to do. He could do it. He's got the physical ability to do it even right now. But it's the fact that he himself, as a fighter, is so stagnant, or rather, has regressed so much in his growth as a boxer that it makes it horrible to get any sort of traction, because we know how to beat you and you're scared to even use your most basic but most powerful weapon. That's how he's been fighting. Malik Scott ain't helping him. Mark Brilliant was better for him, but he let him go because of essentially conspiracy theories and shot himself in the foot there. Malik Scott has turned him into a worse boxer, for my estimate. Again, shot himself in the foot. He refuses to listen, again, rumors, to adapt and change and be better. Shot himself in the foot. He keeps on shooting himself in the foot as a fighter. He ain't going to be able to win in any capacity in the realm of elite competition unless he takes some time, goes through this road of redemption, and fight tomato cans. Fight people that ain't elite. Fight average Joes in the boxing world. And we still respect them, no question. But you can't afford to fight any sort of quality talent in order for you to improve. You can't. Because you need to go back to the drawing board. Because if you don't, you're going to get knocked out like you did against Jank. You're going to get knocked out like you did against Wilder. You're going to get demolished like you, or knocked out like you did against Fury. Dominate like you did against Fury in the second fight. Dominate like you did against Justin Parker. We don't want that. We can't even put you against AJ. Because even AJ now, against this version of Wilder, we all think that AJ would win. Though they're both on a downtrend in their careers, there's a substantial difference. There's a substantial difference in the likes of AJ and where he's fallen to, and Wilder and where he's fallen to. And it's dropped off a cliff with Wilder because of his own volition. He's got to retool and change. And if he doesn't, it can be bad. But again, with the other news, what was I going to say? Janibek, not Janibek. Abdullah Mason gets a knockout in another return. Excited to see him. He keeps on growing and thriving. Keeps on flourishing as a boxer. And sooner rather than later, at 135, that brother's going to be a menace to society. Oh, he's going to be bad. Since we couldn't get Schofield versus Shakur, I would love to see that fight. Schofield versus Abdullah Mason. I'd love to see that fight. That would be a great fight if it can be made happen. Either now or 2 fights from now. Because, again, the growth process of Abdullah Mason, getting more experience, all this stuff, we get it. We know how this goes. But I would love to see it, regardless of which. But, again, timing's great. His timing is his biggest weapon. If you watched Abdullah, his ability to time you is his biggest weapon. His defense gets gotten better. He stopped using that compact Philly shell that got him caught a couple fights ago twice, and now goes into a more full guard, a good full high guard, and occasionally goes to that southpaw, that southpaw Philly shell. It can work, absolutely, but he's not so reliant on it, and that's where I'm very excited with. So I can't wait to see him go forward and continue to improve. Also, Torres, the same buddy who fought Terrell Herndon, fought last weekend. Horrible fight. Terrible fight. That's supposed to be the next great American heavyweight. That man is in a slippery slope to disaster, going up against anybody of even remote competitive nature. He is not, at this point in time, any way, shape, or form, in my opinion, ready for the big leagues of boxing. Even though he's touted as a short, stocky, powerful boxer. And he is. But his technique, defense, and even his offensive tactics are just swarming and mauling. Now, that can be great. We've seen that done with others like Rocky Marciano. Aspects of Mike Tyson, though, again, his best thing was the counterpuncher, making you miss and then making you pay while closing the distance. But we've seen it work. It's not going to work for him. He going to get put out. He going to get destroyed. You better fix it now. He better fix it now. Stop swarming and mauling with such a belligerent degree. Because you ain't got the chin of Joe Joyce. You ain't got just the one-touch power of a Wilder. If you keep on this road with how you're being pushed as a heavyweight, once you get your opportunity to fight in the big leagues for legitimate title contending status, you're going to be in a bad way if you're Torres Jr. I don't want to see it happen, but you ain't ready yet. And you need to get ready quick. Because right now your road is going to take you quicker than you may expect to getting a legitimate big competitive fight. Because of how they're pushing you. And I guarantee you, it ain't going to be pretty. It ain't going to be pretty at all if you keep this up. And I've been following you for years. If you're Torres, you need to shape up. You need to use your jab. You need to use head movement, especially as a shorter fighter. Or at least get a better block as you're trying to work your way on the inside. Stop smothering your own work when you do get on the inside, more than just the opponent's clinching you. It's you smothering your own work, tripping over your own feet, and making yourself your own worst enemy. If you don't fix that, you're going to get knocked out quick and in a hurry. And then you're going to be like fodder for all the rest of you people. There ain't going to be no great American heavyweight. There ain't going to be no next generation for the Americans because they already been put to sleep, starting with Torres. You better get it right, because if not, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a major problem. Major problem. So, Janibek Ali Mahanallah also got a phenomenal KO over this past weekend. He is still one of my favorite fighters in this division, defending his middleweight crown again. This man at 160 is a monster. Absolute monster. Truly, I hope he does get either to unify and or, is he already unified? I can't remember if he's unified or not. But to get another belt, go for undisputed, or potentially move up to 168. Ooh, buddy. Now, I would love to see that. If Janibek ever gets an opportunity to move up to 168, I would love to see that. Because that brother, he's a dog. I love him. I truly do love him. He's one of my favorite fighters in the world right now. It's great. It's phenomenal. And the more and more I see him, I'm high on him. He took some damage in this fight, no question. He couldn't get away from that left hand that his opponent was throwing consistently. Got bloodied up, he did. But still, that southpaw brother is lethal. That left hand is lethal. And he loves to fight in the pocket. And he loves to use his shoulder to push you where he wants you to go. Got a great jab, a strong jab. His ability to change the speed of his shots off of his jab really is what impresses me. So I'm excited for it. Oh, and one more thing. I almost forgot. We have another fight that potentially has been announced, has officially been announced by the WBC. It has now been written in the stars. Wrong sound. It has now been written in the stars that Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda are now called to fight. Yeah. WBC called for William Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson for that fight to actively be made. Legitimately. Not just a circumstance. Not just a, ooh, it'll be great to see it. No. WBC ordered Shakur versus William Zepeda to fight each other. And to get to negotiate. Something's got to happen. Now, I think we talked about this in the last episode. I released a minimum a couple weeks ago. Now, like I said, when Shakur won against Padley, and what we saw with Zepeda versus the likes of who was it he fought? Who was it he fought? Zepeda fought Tevin Farmer. What's it, Tevin Farmer? Yeah, Tevin Farmer. If they fight, I think Shakur is going to beat him. Some people say that Zepeda was running from the likes of Shakur Stevenson. Now, I don't buy that. But what I do know is that if they do fight each other, Shakur and William Zepeda, I think Shakur takes it. I think Shakur outboxes him. Easy. If his hands hold up, I think he outboxes him and beats him. Counters that brother to Kingdom Come. And gets a full unanimous decision if they do fight each other. If his hands don't hold up in the fight, and that swallowing pressure, again, causes Shakur to make a mistake and punch wrong and hurt his knuckles, hurt his hand, and make it so he can't punch, potentially with both hands injured, now we got a situation where Zepeda can win. But if that does not happen, I think Shakur takes it. But for those of you who don't know, Shakur and Zepeda have been mandated by the WBC to finally fight each other. And that, now I can use the right sound. Now that's something good to see. That's something good to hear. That's something great to think about. So I'm excited for it. Let's see, Stevenson says he wants more money. He does. He does. Will he get it? I'm not sure. Is he going to, again, I don't know all the behind the scenes of the negotiation table. I simply know of the news that got put out by the WBC, as reported by the Ring Magazine and other outlets, that has been ordered by the WBC to have that fight happen. Will he get paid what he deserves? Whole nother question. How much should he get paid? That's a whole nother conversation. What is Shakur Stevenson's star power? That's an even deeper question. I mean, shoot. If we are perfectly honest, as much of a known star as Shakur is, how much of a big star is Shakur is to be able to have the ability to negotiate like he wants to negotiate. Now, I don't want him gypped out of money. No question. I don't want that brother robbed out of his just due, as with anybody. But also, how much leveraging power does he have to talk and get his way into the type of cash that he's looking for? When his star power isn't as big as he may see it to be. And I would love to hear that conversation from you all. What do you all think? In fact, that may just be a great talking point for the championship round. In fact, before we even continue, is that everything that we need to cover for the show? I think it is. And also, Richardson and Hitchens is fighting Kambosos for the title. Hey, they fight later this year. It's, with all due respect, Mid fighting Mid, Hitchens fighting Kambosos. I'm not high on either of them. But it's getting made. And so it's going to be, we're excited just to see a title fight commence. Kambosos keeps getting opportunities. Somehow, some way, off the backs of that Teofimo Lopez win, he's been getting, honestly, big star treatment, or at least bigger star treatment than what I see him as deserving. But regardless of which, even still, Hitchens versus George Kambosos is getting made for the IBF title. That for Hitchens to defend his title is going to happen later this year. That is about everything that I got to cover. I think that's all the news and stuff. So now we can jump into the best part of the show, which is what you all had to say. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me see what you all had to say. They offer more money for Padley fight. It's only right to make him more money than last fight. Oh, yeah, I see it. That makes sense. You're right. You are right. He made money for the Padley fight. Opponent got changed. Added short notice, all that stuff. Also, but you also got to understand. Oh, what? Yeah, he was in the ring with Schofield. And it was the co-main event. This would be the headliner. I see what you're saying. Hey, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's only right that he makes or expects to make just as much, if not more, than what he got for the co-main that he got against Padley, which was gonna be against Schofield before the whole sickness and disease took him over. So yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Let's see. Jay Will, Cambo eating good on that TO win, and Maxie, and a huge dropper. It's again, he's an exciting fighter. He is. He's a warrior. Yes. It's just that, but it's not as great as the body of work doesn't match the talent. And I don't say that often. I don't say that at all. This is one of those instances where I think it's true. The body of work, when I watch Kambosos, it just doesn't match the talent of a fighter that I know Kambosos is. It just doesn't. Like, it just doesn't. When I think of Kambosos, then I see his resume. I know the type of fighter he is. It does not match that. It doesn't at all. And he's still getting these opportunities off the backs of those two victories. I'm like, or off the backs of Tszyu and Hugh, excuse me. It boggles my mind. It boggles my mind. I don't get it, but it's happening anyway. Again, that's why I'm saying Hitchens versus Kambosos, for me, is mid versus mid fighting against each other. Former champion, current champion. All respect to him, but I've never been high on Richardson Hitchens as a fighter. Never have. I'm still not right now, because I truly believe that brother. It's only one. Kambosos might not beat him, but then again he could. But if Kambosos doesn't beat him, that's the last time we're gonna see Hitchens hold the title. At 140. If Kambosos does not beat Hitchens, which I'm almost inclined to say that he would, that is the last time that we will see Hitchens hold the title around his waist. Because the next time he fights will be against somebody that will knock him clean out. Because there's nobody else in the 140-pound division that Hitchens holds the belt in right now, outside of Kambosos, who is a contender, that would not beat him. Outside of that, he beat Liam Pearl. Yes, understandable. So we'll take those two out the equation, because they're most likely those two will go. After that, he's getting knocked out by just about everybody else. He will get outboxed by Devin Haney, bullied, physically bullied by Devin Haney because of, again, the size of Devin Haney. Knocked out by Ryan Garcia. Knocked out by Teofimo Lopez. I made a video about a year ago. Knocked out by Sabrina Matias in such a disgusting fashion it wouldn't even be funny. If he does beat Kambosos, it will be the last time Richardson Hitchens hold the title at 140. Because every other opponent he would fight afterwards will knock him out. And he'll never hold the title again. Because he is not that good. I respect him absolutely. He is not that good in the slightest. For me. Every time I watch him fight, it is always underwhelming. Always problematic. Always getting caught. Always just skating by. For me, when I watch him fight. Can't stand it. So no, I can't see that happening at all. Because remember Kambosos before the Devin Haney fight was saying he was using the art of deception and called Devin Haney a rat. Yeah, he did. He did. And he was talking big. He talked big off that Tszyu win. He talked big off that Tszyu win. Big. And notice, he never gave that brother a rematch. Ever. He never gave that brother a rematch, ironically enough. Never gave Tszyu a rematch after that fight. Because now, this Tszyu, this Teofimo Lopez, he kills Kambosos. This Teofimo Lopez kills Kambosos. Oh, absolutely. Oh, surely. No question about it. This Kambosos dies if he faces off against Teofimo Lopez now. But he won't give him that rematch. So, Australia is good for upset. Costa over Zap. Yep. Horn. See, why'd you got to bring up Horn over Pacquiao? Why'd you got to bring up Horn? Buddy, that was a robbery. That wasn't an upset. That was a robbery. Horn got beat. Horn got beat to Kingdom Come. That was not an upset. That was an outward. That was the most blatant robbery I had witnessed since my serious days of watching boxing. The first fight on ESPN. Pacquiao in Australia in the daylight. Over here, it was late at night. And, brother, the only thing that anybody could talk about, Teddy Atlas or anybody else, was how much of a disgusting robbery this was. And if this is to start out ESPN, this is a bad sign for the rest of the tenure back on cable networks for people to watch boxing. Oh, it was bad. Oh, gosh. Oh, that brought a bad taste in my mouth. Oh, never bring up Pacquiao versus Horn. I hate that fight because Horn didn't win it in the slightest. And then put it to call out Mayweather. You want the cane or you want the stretcher, whatever the case may be. Oh, I hate it. I was so glad when Crawford put that brother to bed, and I don't think he's ever fought again. I was so happy. Jeff Horn, because of that robbery, robbed us of an opportunity to get Crawford versus Pacquiao. Jeff Horn, because of that robbery that the judges gave him, objectively, with no merit, robbed us of getting Pacquiao versus the likes of doggone, oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Let me calm down. I'm just mad. We could have gotten Pacquiao versus Terrence Crawford. We could have gotten Pacquiao versus Errol Spence. There's a lot of fights we could have gotten if that fight did not happen the way it happened. And history could have been a whole lot different. But my gosh. Oh, it hurts. I'm sorry. But it hurts. But yes, Australia's a land of upsets, so it could be another one. In fact, it does go through. But we'll see what happens. But now, we're done. We're covered. Everything's all good. And now we can go into the best part of the show, which is the championship rounds. Yes, indeed. Hey. Let's make it happen. Make the show your own. We got 30 minutes to an hour. Whatever you want to discuss in the world of boxing, NBA, NFL, sports, and beyond, We can talk about movies, anime, video games, your life in general, all that stuff. We can make it happen. Make the show your own. Comment or chat, whatever you feel. Leave a like on the stream if you're here and enjoying what we got going on. And hey, let's jump right into it, shall we? What y'all got to say on the matter right now? Let's see. They struggle with defending the belt. They struggle with defending. We're talking about over in Australia. Yes, Denver Nuggets just fired their coach. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, wait. Oh, wait a second. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? No, they didn't. No, that's cap. No. No, there's no way. No. No. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Wait a minute, Jay Will. Jay Will, you gotta be messing with me. You've got to be messing with me. Are you serious? Like this ain't cap. This is real. I'm gonna look at it like, no, there's no way. No, there's no, no, there's no way. 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 Clean out Denver Nuggets. Also, what do you mean also? What is going on? Wait a minute. What is going on? Excuse me, for those of you, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What? Oh shoot. Oh.
Hey, look at this. We got some problems here. We got some problems here.
Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in and listening to the Welch Report, or if you're re-watching the show, or if you can't look at the screen right now, my apologies for screaming and losing my mind. We just had some major breaking news from Tszyu, one of the lead reporters for the NBA. It has just gotten word that the Denver Nuggets have fired Coach Mike Malone completely, outright, all of a sudden, within, at what time was it? An hour ago, as we were doing this show. What? Oh my gosh. Days before the NBA playoffs, the Nuggets dismissed Malone in a meeting today. Malone is the winningest coach in franchise history since being hired in 2015. Led the Nuggets to the 2013 NBA championship. Currently, right now, we're here. The Nuggets are currently, what are they? They're what, third? Fourth? No, fourth. They're fourth in the Western Conference, are they? The Nuggets are fourth in the Western Conference. They're 47-32. They have currently the MVP of this team, or one of the two MVP candidates on this team, who's averaging upwards of 29, rounding up 30, 10, and 10. Excuse me, 30, nearly 14, and 10. Concretely, we're going to most likely get to the second round. And they fired outright. Let me hold on before we react. Is there any reason for what? Again, we're breaking this right now. Denver are also firing general manager Calvin Booth. What? Oh my gosh! This ain't a joke. First, it was I am actively at a loss. I'm actively at a loss. This makes almost no. Okay, so David Adelman will serve as the interim coach for the time being. Most likely the coach outright for the rest of the playoffs. What the world? What in the world? Like, what just happened? First it was the Grizzlies. First, oh shoot, I'm shocked. I ain't even looking at y'all's chats. Let me switch back to into y'all's chat so I can see what's going on. I am actually like shook up. Oh shoot. I didn't even realize this is crazy. This is wild. They just won a championship. They were coming off of being still one of the top teams in the West. Everything, while they had their struggles. Absolutely, they had lost like 3 straight. With Jokic putting up of these last 5 games, had averaged 40, 13, and 10 over the last 5 games. Preposterous. He's had a 61-point triple-double that was ruined by the actions of Russell Westbrook. But regardless of which, everything seemed to be like, okay, we're bad. But a couple roster changes come the offseason. We're right back where we need to be. And now it's the 2013 World Champions to 5 within 2 years. And it's like, that's the biggest thing, Jay Will. Jamal Murray has been out. They've had injuries on the roster. This isn't like that they have been battling at full strength for the whole of this recent stretch in the season. It has been a Jokic carry job. On top of pieces weren't there. We can't deny it. Westbrook, ironically enough, was not playing horribly for this team. He wasn't. He was not playing terribly, though he's had some very, and I do mean very, bad instances, just like in Los Angeles for the Lakers. But it doesn't seem like, okay, break the glass, we overhauling everything. No, like, this is preposterous. Oh my gosh. From calling his team and himself the Lakers' daddy, all the junk he was talking in 2023 and in 2024, not just about the Lakers, but about the whole of the NBA. Specifically about the Lakers, he has some ire towards them because there was a grudge there. But outside of that, like, oh shoot, oh my gosh, this just went from bad to worse if you're a Nuggets fan. I mean, this just changes everything about the potential playoff scenarios for what can happen with by the end of the season. If, let's say hypothetically, they drop and they are in a position where they got to face the Warriors in the first round. Because you got to understand, if you don't know, the West is only outside of the top 3 seeds. The West is only separated by 1 win from seeds 4 through 7. If the Nuggets, there's a week's worth of games left. If the Nuggets lose twice, they can drop from 4th to potentially 7th. With 1 loss, they can drop from 4th to 7th. 2 losses, they can drop from 4th to play-in. It's that tight. It is legitimately that tight. And now with this potential, just turmoil that looks to be going through, it's like the Nuggets' chances of winning just dipped dramatically. Oh shoot. Yeah, no, this unless I find out something new, this makes no sense at all within the greater landscape of what we know goes on in the NBA. I truly do not understand this in the slightest. None of this makes sense at all when trying to rationalize why this would happen. I'm legitimately at a loss. Shoot. Well, mind you, this just starts off this just starts off the championship rounds. I don't know what else may happen that can come through that we can go and discuss. I'm looking through right now to make sure ain't nothing potentially going through. This is actually insane. I'm actually at a loss of words. My job is to talk, and I don't know what to say. Oh shoot! I almost got centelled. I almost saw something that said that Westbrook had gotten released by the Nuggets as well. So I was about to go ballistic. So no, excuse me. Let me make sure I'm not getting anything that is going discredit my reputation. But regardless of which, we're strange times, man. That's all I can really say. It's some strange times afoot going on right now. But let me see. What do you think about Cooper Flag and Duke choke job? That shook up a lot of people. I watched that game, and Duke looked like they were going to take it fairly handily. I mean, but they did give it away. Like, they legitimately just gave it away. They gave that game away, which was insane. And now they're going to have to go into next season. They'll still be good, but without the likes of a number one prospect like Cooper Flag on their roster anymore. Because he's going to the league. Oh, it's done. It's one and done. Sure, he can still make money in NIL at Duke, no question. But as where he stands right now, especially with the amount of competitive fervor that can be in the Western Conference, where it looks like he may be going to, like with the Spurs or even the OKC Thunder, if they trade up a bunch of picks to try to get him, which they can, they got capital to, he can play for a contender right now, legitimately. Oh, yeah. Don't be surprised. He's gone. And it could be a minute before we see Duke back in the Final Four, potentially. They still got a good roster, don't get me wrong. But that's going to stink. Because I doubt they're going to get that close again. I doubt they're going to get that close again. At least for at minimum, for a couple years. Minimum for 2. Maybe even longer. Maybe even 3. Could be 5, like for some teams. But I mean, it's like, brother, I'm trying to keep up and make sure ain't nothing else is going on. Is there anything else? While I'm looking up to go through the world of the NBA to verify. Oh, hold on. Okay, no. Okay, never mind. Just had to make sure. While I'm going through to verify, if anything else is shaking up in the NBA world, if there's anything else y'all want to talk about, put it in the chat. And I'll read it, react to it, talk about it. No question. I still got more notes that we can discuss. We still got about 15 minutes left that we can talk about on the show. We can talk about how the OKC Thunder got, ironically enough, blown out by the likes of the Los Angeles Lakers. What was it, 126-99? Holding them under 100 points for a fully healthy OKC squad. And one of the most surprising wins of this season. Brings a new meaning to, I guess, the word fear when it comes to what the people see with this Lakers squad. At their best, what can this team do? This team can do a lot. I do mean a lot. And and especially now with the Nuggets going through this whole overarching, essentially, retool. Like, that's shocking us all. This really does open up the landscape for teams like the Lakers and for teams like the Warriors. Now with what's going on with the Nuggets, who were going to be seen, regardless of what we felt about the competitiveness of what we actually think is going to happen. The door opens up for them. It opens up a lot for them. Rockets, who may have been seen as somebody that isn't really that much of a big threat from the standpoint of being so young and inexperienced, with Şengün, with Thompson, with Jalen Green. All of them now, without the Nuggets potentially being as much of a big threat as they were, with their coach being fired, GM being fired, and all this turmoil, if they do have to face them, there are some avenues where the most likely circumstance now gets flipped on its head. Genuinely. We knew that the Warriors were competitive, but now without Coach Mike Malone there, even with the talent that we know the Nuggets have, if the Nuggets have to face the Warriors somewhere down the line in the playoffs, hey, without the Warriors have been looking. Oh, that's interesting. Clippers versus Nuggets, if that happens, that's interesting. Timberwolves versus the Nuggets. That's really interesting. There's a lot of shakeup right now. It's a lot of shakeup. It's 3 points in 33 minutes. Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about that too. I forgot about you. Who has the best shot to beat Boston? Best shot to beat Boston is, in fact, Cleveland. Out the East. That's it. I would have said the Bucks if they still had Dame, but Dame's out for the year. There is no other team I can see that I can confidently say that can beat Boston in the Eastern Conference outside of Cleveland. Not the Knicks. Showed us not the Pacers. Detroit, I think if they did face off against Boston, could give them a scare. Genuine. But I don't think they can do it. Magic, absolutely not. Hawks, definitely not. And Chicago and Miami, well, no, just no. The only team that I can see that can feasibly beat them in a 7-game series out the Eastern Conference is, in fact, Cleveland. Outright. It's tough for me to say anybody else can do it because they are so far and away a complete team with everybody peaking. Everybody's peaking. Al Horford, Porzingis, Jalen Green. Not Jalen Green. I'm sorry. Jalen Brown. Jason Tatum. Peyton Pritchard. And they still got a bench that's got great depth. And June Holiday. It's like they're almost the perfect constructed squad. I can't see anybody else beat them outside of Cleveland for my money. Now Cleveland can do it, but my gosh, it's gonna be something. And you say, let's go Sixers. Well, you know, we'll see y'all next year. That's the best thing I can say. Y'all are in the running to get the likes of Cooper Flag. It can happen. I think y'all are, unless y'all's pick this year is given to another squad. You all could get him, potentially, but I think it's going to need more than that to get this team back on track. And so, hey, finish the year strong. That's the best thing I can say. Finish it out strong. And, you know, we're rooting for you. Finish off the year with, well, I can't say 30 wins. I was going to say get to 25. That's all. Get to 25 wins on the year. You just need 2. You just need 2. If you can get 2, you'll be great. We're rooting for you. Absolutely. Come back strong next year. Let's go, Paul George. Let's go, Embiid. If y'all can stay healthy, great. We love to see it. Y'all might want to get rid of Paul George, though. I'm not going to lie. That might be that. If you can trade him, please trade him. For the sake of your organization, trade that brother. You might have to trade Joel Embiid, too, but that's a whole other conversation. We'll get to that later on. But we'll get to that at another conversation. But let's see. Houston held Curry to 3 points. That's insane. It is. Now, I will say, some people have been saying it's a terrible game. Some people have been saying that the way it was guarded made it impossible to score. Both comments can be true. The way that they guarded Curry was indeed great. Physical. Was there some fouling? Absolutely. Was there maybe some underhanded stuff in the way they would body him up? Yeah. But it was a great defensive scheme. Curry playing bad? Absolutely is right. Also, 3 points in 33 minutes, even with the likes of Steph Curry, is unacceptable. That, objective. The whole point about Steph, like we talk about with other greats like KD, LeBron, and others, that the best thing that makes them great is they always find a way to still make the impact that they're looking for. In this game, he just couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. Again, it was the way the game plan was phenomenal. Absolutely. It's still Steph could not get it done. Absolutely. And now come the playoffs, people are going to be studying that game and see what they did and try to emulate that kind of playoff time. And I guarantee you it's going to be something interesting. And it's going to be, will this happen again? Most likely not. But we've seen some single-digit and 15-point games from Curry before. I think this season. Not just this week, but over the course of this season. And so, pre-Jimmy Butler. Even though Jimmy Butler's made this team look a whole lot better. Yes, he has. There's still a concern of where Steph's production is going to be come playoff time. If these are the types of games that we're seeing more and more often. Not saying that they're incredibly more likely, but of recent, it's been, hey, more than I would like to see this season. I've seen that man locked up like I've never seen him locked up before. He'll still give you his 50-point performances, no question. He'll still give you 8 to 9 threes. He can still do that because it's Steph. But when he's off, more than ever, it looks a lot more detrimental to the team. Could be a concern for the playoffs, in my estimation. Let's see. What do you think Janibek keeps fighting inferior competition? Now, from what I know, he's been calling out somebody at the top of 160. Who was it? Let me look it up to make sure. Unless I'm thinking of a different brother. Nope, it was him. And he challenged Canelo. Well, hey, shoot. Not Canelo. Oh, Hamad. That's who it was. Hamad. Yep. Hamad. What is Chavez? Who initially fought at I think his last fight was at 154, and now looking at the move up to 160. Was it Hamzat Chavez that he called out to fight at 160? Because he was moving up after that fight with Adamas, saying that he was too skinny, saying that he couldn't make the weight comfortably, and saying that he had outgrown the division. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But I believe he had called him out, as well as calling out Canelo. I'm verifying to make sure. But if that is indeed true, we also got to understand that the division is not as stacked as some of the other divisions in boxing. Now, it's still some quality opponents. In fact, let me pull it up right now. So I'm not being horrible or uninformed with how I give you the skinny on the landscape of the division. Give me 1 second right here. As to do our work. Going through at 160 right now. Janibek needs to get a big fight. Oh, wait, excuse me. Here we go. Appetite? Wait, excuse me. Give me 1 second, trying to blow up your chat so I can read it properly. Carlos Adames is at that weight. Appetite is Jai Appetite at 160. Are you sure? Janibek Ali Muhammad is at 160. Yes, he is at 160. If you're talking about the only Appetite I know is Jai Appetite, and Jai Appetite is at cruiserweight. That's 200. So I think that weight class is a little too big. But you are right. Adames, Lara, Hamzat Chavez, Chris Eubank Jr., Tyron Davis, Eloa, Austin Williams, and about 3 other people. It's more stacked than I previously thought about. Never mind. Excuse me. My apologies. Excuse me, I read that one. So there is some depth at 160. There is. My apologies for getting that wrong. Excuse me. But yes, Carlos Adames is at the division. He does need some bigger fights. You are absolutely right. What needs to happen with Janibek, if best comes to best, I would love to see him fight against Lara. Lara's been reigning and looking more powerful and still got that defensive mind, but a more physically offensive style. And it's been indeed great over these past couple fights, especially since he moved up to 160. Love to see that fight happen. Now that Hamzat Chavez is here, want to see that fight happen. Carlos Adames off the backs of beating Chavez, him against Janibek. Now that would be great. Now that would be phenomenal. So you're right. This division is deeper than I expected. This division is deeper than I thought it was. I'm so sorry. I mistook Chavez and Adames at 154. No, they are at 160. So you are right. It is deep. He does need to get some bigger fights. Now, he did fight. I think his last fight was against the ninth-ranked brother, at least going off of the Transatlantic Boxing Council, as I'm looking at their rankings right now. And they have him ranked number 9, who he just fought and who he knocked out in a phenomenal knockout. But, yeah, after this, after the results of Eubanks versus Conor Benn, I would like to see him fight Conor Benn. I would like to see him fight Carlos Adames. I would like to see him fight Arizona Lara. Those are about the 3 biggest ones I would want to see. Those are the 3 biggest fights I would love to see if I could see it happen. If we could see Janibek get in the ring. So yeah, definitely. You ain't wrong about that in the slightest. Let's see. Eubanks versus Ben fight at the end of the month. Good gosh, is it? Good shoot. Dang it. Shoot. Eubanks is at the end of the month. Like, honestly, yeah, so it's not as bad as people say. So yeah, you're right. You are absolutely right. I'm going to get on that Chris Eubanks thing. But let me quickly go back and click the Apataya comment that you were talking about. I just mean Apataya needs a big fight also. He does. Now, Apataya, he just won his last fight by knockout. He's in talks, and I think it's scheduled. If not confirmed, it's close that he's going to fight against Ceruto, which we are all incredibly excited for. So that fight is coming down the pipe. So I think sooner rather than later. If not outright, the next fight is going to happen. So if it ain't been agreed to outright, it's going to be in the very near future, which we are excited about. So, hey, claps all around. We want to see that happen, which is good. That'll be the big fight that we've been looking for the likes of Jai Apataya. But in terms of, real quick with the Eubanks, I almost forgot with everything going on that's happening at the end of the month, which is ridiculous. More than anything, my gosh, this tells me we're at a position in boxing I never thought we would be at. We got so much stuff going on in the sport that it is almost too much to keep track of. In some cases, not all. Again, it still ain't what it used to be. Absolutely, with the consistency of big, consistent, quality fights. But from what it used to be for the modern day, for the past decade or so, to have a point where I'm forgetting one of the biggest grudge matches, generational grudge matches that's happening in boxing, that's happening this month, and I almost completely gloss over it, and it slips my mind, showed you just how much action we got in the sport of boxing right now, which is everything that we could ask for. Now, it's my job to keep track of this stuff going on, which, again, if I don't keep track of it, I'm not doing my job. That's a problem. But the fact that there's an opportunity that I can forget that big fights are indeed happening or lose track of big fights that are happening is a good thing, because that means we got an abundance of stuff going on. And when it used to be, we had nothing going on. So beforehand, it used to be we only had to look forward to maybe 1 or 2 fights a year. Now, we got a bunch of fights that we're all excited for, that we all got skin in the game in some way, shape, or form, to the point that now we'll potentially lose track and say, oh my gosh, I forgot. So that's great. My gosh, that's incredible. This is what we asked. This is what we wanted. That's what I'm excited for. Absolutely. And let's see, Jokic or SGA, your pick for MVP. Now, we've had this question asked, I think, just about every single show, which is good, because it's been a highly contested argument. I have been saying that Jokic is my MVP all the way up until this last stint, because now I don't think he's going to win it, even though he should. He's not going to win it because of those 3 consecutive losses that he had on the Nuggets. I think ruined his chances. And it's a shame, because it shouldn't have. Because he's outplayed SGA by every metric. It's gonna be SGA, I think, that wins it. It's going to be SGA that wins it. I'm almost assured now. SGA is most likely going to win the MVP. He's not my pick for who should win. But SGA is going to win MVP. He's going to win it. Those last 3 losses for Jokic, in the eyes of voters, with how they've been voting, and how while they always keep changing the argument for what is and isn't MVP quality accolades or expectations that somebody needs to hit, while they keep changing that and keep contradicting themselves, the one thing that always is true is they value more than they should the records of a team. In some cases, over the actual success of the individual with their personal play. And because of that, with the Nuggets having the best record in the West, not the best record in the NBA, but the best record in the West, and with them having SGA averaging, 36-6, and leading that squad, they're going to give him MVP. He's going to win it. He shouldn't win it because he's nowhere close to being on the level of Jokic. Jokic has been carrying this squad, who has, ironically enough, has been playing below what the normal level of the Nuggets that we normally see. But Jokic has been playing the best basketball we have ever seen in his career. He has cleared SGA out the water as an individual player. There is no stat or achievement that you can give me that SGA has done this season that can any way touch what Jokic has done. That's not me glazing. That's legitimate. There's no way. There's none. There ain't nothing that on top of all the body of work that both people have done individually, there is nothing that SGA has done on his best day that has cleared what Jokic can do on a good day. Listen, understand it, catch that. There's nothing that SGA has done on his best day this season that eclipses what Jokic has done on a good day this season. Because Jokic's best day was a historic 61-point triple-double this season. There's nothing that he's had a 30 and 20 game. A 30, 10, and 17 assist game this season. He has shot upwards of 45% from 3 this season. He is in top 10 or in the tops, for field goal percentage, shooting above 50% this season. And has, in terms of both advanced stats and just regular stats and eye test, there's nothing that tells me that Jokic should not be MVP. But because of the overvaluing of team wins, he is going to lose MVP, and it's a shame. Because R. Smith, you're right. You told me SGA would win it. You said it. Also, appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you showing up. Absolutely. We love it. We're so glad that you're here. But you said it multiple times on past episodes. SGA is going to win it. You're right. SGA is going to win MVP. No question. Now, no question. But mark my words, just like they did with Joel Embiid's MVP, just like they did recently with James Harden's MVP, where Brian Windhorst was saying, I regret voting for him because LeBron was MVP that season. The more I look back on it, we're going to have those same conversations, but it's going to be even more disgusting when we look at this season with SGA and Jokic. You thought that Joel Embiid and that MVP is getting ridiculed. This MVP with SGA, years from now, is going to be seen as a laughingstock. Not because SGA ain't great or wouldn't deserve it at any other point in time. But when you look at the same record or same landscape and look at what Jokic did this season and say, how did he not win MVP? It's going to be absolute pandemonium. And SGA is going to get the brunt of the flack of no fault of his own. Because people wanted to buy into a narrative that ain't right. And in terms of what is valued more than anything else, which is a problem. His team been in first place the whole season. They have. Again, I'm not arguing that team success is not something that should be taken into account. It absolutely should. I'm not arguing that in the slightest. I'm not saying or trying to devalue that team success in the first place in the West ain't something that isn't incredible. Them being one of the 3 favorites for a title isn't incredible. Them being so young but so dominant, having one of the best defensive, statistically, one of the best defensive seasons that we've seen in NBA history. I'm not downplaying that in the slightest. But what I am saying is that over the years, we keep on saying that the team success of a player means more than anything else. And then flip around and then say that it doesn't mean a whole bunch. Like with Jokic and Embiid. When I believe the Sixers were not as high as the Nuggets when that whole MVP race was going on. I don't think it was close. And still, they gave it to Jokic. Or they gave it to Embiid, excuse me. Because, he's playing so dominantly on both sides of the floor. Even though it was objected that Jokic was better that season. And his team record was better that season. Now, flipped, when the argument of individual success should be the biggest thing for this specific conversation, now it's being seen as team success is now the biggest thing that drives the conversation for who wins this season. It is a flip-flop of the Jokic scenario against Joel Embiid a couple years ago, which again was a bad decision. So why is it that now we are flipping the script? And when the very argument that Jokic could have had on top of his individual play, you said it didn't count. But now it does count when it's going up against SGA, when Jokic is playing even better than what that season was when he lost the argument. Jokic had team success, individual accolades, consistency, and efficiency across the board over Joel Embiid. Yet Joel Embiid won it that season because he was more dominant. Though that was a lie. But he was more dominant and played both sides of the floor. Now Jokic is a better defensive player than he was last season. He's averaging a steal and a half. He's averaging a steal and a half this season. He is averaging nearly a 30-point triple-double. One of the best rebounders in the league. On top of his team is at minimum top 4 in the West. But yeah, they're not better than the Nuggets. They're not better than the Thunder. Understandable. But if you gave me these same stats and it was Joel Embiid last season or 2 years ago, everybody would have been up in arms. How was Joel Embiid not winning the MVP? Now when Jokic is having an even better season than that season, an even better season than any of his MVP years that he's ever had, that individually clears SGA, and team success is still comparable. Ain't like I'm arguing a 1 seed versus an 8 seed. I'm arguing a 1 seed versus a 4 seed, and that 4 seed, depending on how this season ends, can easily be upwards of what? A 3 seed. Easily. And so I'm saying a 4th and or 3rd seed team has a player that is outplaying what the number 1 seeded team's best player is doing by leaps and bounds. It is not out of the question to say maybe he should win MVP because the level of success is comparable for the team. But as I've said before, my criteria for MVP is individual accomplishment first, and then team record second. Because team record is also predicated on, in most situations, the quality of team that you have around you. And so some teams, you're built great and you play great because you got all the pieces. Even though another player may be playing better than you objectively, but they don't have the same pieces, so they're not at the same heights. But they got to play at that insane level just to get to those heights that they're at right now. So when I look at Jokic, understanding that the stupidest historic stuff that we're witnessing, if we're having conversations that this could be the greatest non-MVP season that we've seen in NBA history, rivaled by only a few other seasons in NBA history, including Wilt Chamberlain's 50-point averaging season, where he didn't win MVP. It was Bill Russell. But that same season, Wilt had 100 points and averaged 50 points and 25 rebounds, yet didn't win MVP that year. And we're talking about that type of conversation that Jokic is about to be in, makes me think maybe we should give this man MVP. If we are having talks of MVPs that should have been MVPs but didn't get them, maybe if we're having that conversation with what Jokic could potentially be, maybe that means that we shouldn't give this MVP to another person. Because I guarantee you it's going to be, by the end of this whole saga, we're going to say, oh my gosh, Jokic had an incredible season. And that it cleared anything SGA did. And revisionist history is going to be, we should have given Jokic the MVP. I promise you, Mark, I promise you, within less than 6 months, it's going to happen. Within less than 6 months, it's going to happen. I guarantee you it's going to happen. People are going to be saying SGA shouldn't have won that MVP that year. People are going to be saying, stepping foot with foot, and say that SGA shouldn't have won it this year. Backtracking. Oh, see? A sympathy MVP. All those conversations, that's what's going to happen. I hate it, but I don't want it to be. But it's going to happen. I promise you. Promise you. That's what's going to take place. It's not over yet. Why do you assume SGA winning? Because they're going to value the team record over the likes of individual play. When both team records are comparable. From 1 to 4. Because that's where the Nuggets and the OKC are. But I guarantee you, that's going to be the driving force. And it's going to be wrong. And they're going to say it's wrong after they give him the win. I've seen it before. It's going to happen. I promise you. Mark my words. Yo, Dr. Wong, what's good with you, man? How you doing? Appreciate you coming in on the show. So sorry. We've been having this debate for a while. I almost missed when you initially commented. My apologies. Let me see what you got to say. Let's see. Hello, Mr. Jean-Luc Welch. It's rumored. Anyway, we'll fight am I saying it right? Cardinars? Ali Muhammad or Marjan Ahmadali and Junto in that order. If he does that, is he the best boxer in the world? Well, it's more than confirmed. It's a reality. Because right now he's fighting excuse me. Is it Katarina's? Excuse me for saying it wrong. He's fighting Kaderas. And excuse me if I'm butchering it. He is fighting MMA. He is fighting Ali Muhammad I'm sorry. Not Ali Muhammad. Ahmadali. He's fighting Cardenas in May. Ahmadali, they are already in negotiations, legitimately, and I believe it's been agreed upon, or just about to be agreed upon. And then he's fighting Junto because he went and challenged Junto outright in front of the Japanese Boxing Council on stage. They shook hands and did. I even put up a short about it. So all of that is indeed happening. So that's more than just rumor. That's fact. That's fact. That's happening. Full stop. That's happening. And so if he does accomplish all that, yeah, he's found number one. He's the best in the world. If he beats Cardenas, or again, excuse me if I'm butchering the name. Kadernas Akhmadaliev and then beats Junto Nakatani. Yeah, he's the best. He's the best again. He's already number 2. He's already number 2. And he's been a consistent great body of work. He does that, yeah, he's number 1. Because mind you, they said he's been ducking MJ. Maybe early on this show's channel. Or on this channel. People were telling me that he was ducking MJ for the longest time. Him and some other person. And now he's fighting him and Junto. Put the back. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's happening. It's happening. And when it does happen, if he does win all 3, he'll be the best in the world. Oh, he'll be outright the best in the world. There'll be no question in my mind. I've been looking for a reason to make him number 1. If he does that, he'll be my pound for pound number 1 fighter. Outright. If he just beats Junto, he's pound for pound number 1 in my eyes. Because Junto has been one of the biggest ops I've seen for Inoue. Outside of Nick Ball. He beats Junto, even with him coming up. Great. Phenomenal. Incredible. Love it. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited for that fight. It's going to happen probably next year. Because it's going to be Cardenas this year in May. Potentially Akhmadaliev happening later in November, December, around that time. And then, Junto going to start negotiations. They already said they want to fight each other. Junto will probably have one more fight at bantamweight before ultimately moving up. In the span of Inoue's 2 fights with again, excuse me, I'm saying this wrong. Kadernas and Akhmadaliev, Junto will have 1 fight. I said that wrong. And with Inoue's 2 fights with Kadernas and Akhmadaliev, Junto will have 1 fight with the likes of somebody at bantamweight, and then move up to fight at super bantamweight and challenge Inoue, because they both want that fight. So we can't wait to see it. Let's make it happen. Well, I don't know how to say that, but we'll say Biz D. What's good with you? How you doing? Appreciate you coming in on the show. SGA the man, hands down. Hey, he's the man. We're gonna see if he wins MVP. I think he will. I don't think he should, but I think he will, because of the team record's going to be the thing that they ultimately value. But his season's incredible. He's a real title contender. He's a title threat. He's most likely the most favorite to get out the West to get to the finals. So we can't wait to see how this turns out as the playoffs come in less than a week away. Yo, Teach, what's good with you? How you doing? Appreciate you coming in on the show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, we're at the championship rounds. If there's anything you would like to say, questions, comments, concerns, debates, whether it's on boxing, whether it's on NBA, whether it's on video games, anime, movies, all that stuff, regardless of what it may be, whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about it. We got we might be going over time. We'll give y'all 5 more minutes. 5-10 more minutes, and then we're going to get out of here. It's already, 2 hours, 24 minutes into this stream. It's been a great stream, absolutely, but I don't want to hold y'all too long. So we'll give y'all about roughly 4 to 5 minutes. If anybody has anything else they want to say and or discuss, and if you haven't already, leave a like on the stream as we're winding down to the end of the show. Leave a chat for whatever you would like to discuss in this championship round segment. Again, share the show with everybody you can. Help the algorithm see what we got going on by sharing it with multiple people. We got 6 people, we got 7 likes. If people ain't liked the stream, go ahead and do it now so we can keep on elevating the width, or rather the breadth, of what this show is going to be about to the masses of the boxing and sports world beyond in the ethos of media. So if you would, it would be very nice, would be very helpful to the channel, helpful to the stream, and hopefully y'all enjoy what we got going on. Absolutely. But if that is about everything, unless anybody else has anything to say, I guess we can wrap it up. Start winding down. I said I'll give y'all 5 minutes. I'll give y'all until we hit 2 hours, 30 minutes on this stream. Once we hit that, we'll pack it up and go home. So we got 5 minutes. Anything else anybody wants to say, we can say it right now. We can absolutely do it. And while we're waiting for your comments, we have to, on the NBA side, excuse me, I had to catch a breath real quick. We had to talk a little bit, or we need to talk a little bit more not just about the Warriors, but also with these off-season moves that are getting ready to come through. There is some real concern that I have with Kevin Durant potentially getting moved around. And though he may not want to go back to the Warriors, if the OKC, not if OKC, if the Suns want to get something back for him, and he doesn't go to OKC, there could be a situation that he does go back to Golden State. Potentially. Hypothetically. Before I even talk about that, let me go see what y'all got to say on the show. Keep it rolling. Okay, we'll keep it rolling. We'll keep it happening right now. Let's see, Teach, what you got to say? What you think about the Shakur Oscar incident? I missed it. Let's see, about the Shakur Oscar incident. I missed what you said. Now, which Shakur Oscar incident? I got to think. Which incident was that? Sadly, I'm blanking. I'm trying to think of what incident I was talking about when it came to Shakur. I talked about Shakur and Padley. I talked about Shakur and Schofield. I talked about Shakur and Williams-Cepeda. I talked about Shakur having to fight Williams-Cepeda because that fight got ordered by the WBC this weekend. So they have to go and at least attempt to make that fight happen at minimum. It's been ordered by the Belt Commission. So that fight looks to be like it's going to happen. When people were saying that one or the other was a duck, now they're both coming to grips. Shakur Stevenson and Oscar, I don't know about that incident. And so I'm not sure. Let me see. Recent comments on Twitter say Shakur not taking Turkey offer and letting the fight go to Perth. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Also, not Bisley. I think it's BLSD. Can Steph bounce back? Steph can bounce back. Absolutely. Come playoff time, especially with the squad and Jimmy Butler rejuvenating this team. Yes, he can still bounce back. I'm not concerned with them getting 3 points in 33 minutes. It is still Steph Curry. And still, the Butters put up 53 a couple of weeks ago. So it ain't like, oh my gosh, everything's all terrible. So he can't come back. Now, come playoff time with how the Rockets did guard him, other teams are going to try to do that same thing. So it's going to be interesting how he looks to combat that and still be competitive with his own individual production. We know what his gravity can bring, but you still need to you can't have more than 3 if you're Steph and look to win a 7-game series. So it's going to be, it's I'm not rocking the boat yet. But if we see the same struggles in the playoffs, now we got an issue, now we got a problem. No question. But let me say, but okay, yeah, recent comments with him saying that Turkey is not offering, or Turkey's not giving the money he deserves. And he's letting the purse bid go. So yes, he did say that. Excuse me. Thank you for jogging the memory. He did say that. He's not taking the money from Turkey. Let the fight go to purse bid. Now, the question I asked is, how much is Shakur worth to be able to demand what he wants to demand? Was it H3 or was it J Will? It was either H3 or J Will brought up a great point. One of them brought up a great point about how at minimum he should get what he got when he fought on the undercard of Turkey Al-Sheikh. At minimum. Understand it. But to get above that, is he worth that? I'm asking you all. I'm not trying to I gotta think more about it. But is he worth that? In terms of if he got paid more. I heard he got over $5 million versus Padley. Yeah, you're right. He got over $5 million versus Padley. To put in perspective, the purse to put in perspective, I think the overall money that was garnered for the Tank fight was $6 million, I believe. So he made $5 million base for the Padley fight. And that was with, again, the whole, not even with Schofield in the ring, with Padley. With Schofield, he might have made even more, coupled with the stuff. But it's guaranteed, made 5. Tank made 6 off of the gate. And so it's like, And that's what, like, outside of Turkey, who's paying it? That, like, numbers like that you would think for will be are great. They are. But nobody's paying that level of money. And also, Shakur, as big of a star, like, excuse me, I'm sorry, for Padley, for Padley, my bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, who's paying that much for Padley? Yeah, not me. And just in general, even for the start of Shakur right now, the money he would get that Turkey would be offering that he's saying isn't enough doesn't make sense because it sounds like it's worth what Shakur is right now. From the landscape of mega paydays, for where Shakur's status and cachet is, it sounds like, from everything I see, that he's getting paid what he deserves. And if anything, a little bit more because of how much money Turkey's just throwing around at the sport to get the fights that we want. Listen, Shakur got lucky he got paid that much. The crowd was booing. And yet, well, again, the performance was good. He got the knockout. They were booing because they just don't like Shakur. Yeah, but the fight itself wasn't a bad fight because it wasn't boring because he was actually trying to walk forward and do work, which is what we've been saying he can do for the past 6 months, which is great. But yeah, people don't like Shakur. And people don't want to pay for Shakur because of what Shakur has done and with the stigma that he also has garnered for himself with his rhetoric and his fighting style. And so to get paid as much as he got paid by Turkey seems to be good. To think that you deserve more, that's where the problem lies. Because the man is not from a marketable standpoint, most promoters wouldn't want to pay him nearly as much as he's getting paid right now, or as he got paid with Turkey. So to say that you're being underpaid, when in actuality, you're being overpaid for what your actual value is as a star, because you still are a star. It's just not to that level that you think you are at. Of course, you're going to try to negotiate higher. Absolutely. You're going to think you're the greatest since sliced bread. That's anybody. I get it. But we also got to look at reality. If it wasn't him paying you outside of a tank fight, you wouldn't be making any of this money. Let alone against the likes of Zepeda. And we love to see Zepeda fight. Zepeda is a person that people actually would like to pay to watch because of how much excitement that he brings and the constant offensive ability. But even he ain't making nearly as much money. Because even as a star, we understand he's not as big. And you are a bigger star than him. But people don't want to pay to see you because of how you fight. And so it's tough for me to say that, oh, you're not getting what you deserve. If anything, I think you're getting more than you deserve. And to not go with that type of money that would still get you the fights that you want, to put you on that threshold of even bigger stardom, it doesn't make sense to me. For me, it doesn't make sense. Let's see. Those were Padley supporters who were booing. They flew to watch him. Okay, that's understandable. Support your hometown and whatnot. Wonder why they booed him. He is a good fighter. He's not a superstar. That's true. And like that's the thing. Shakur is a star that has the talent. He's a star with superstar talent, but his marketability is the worst version of Floyd Mayweather. I think that's the best way I can put it. He is a bona fide star with the ability to be a superstar, but he's got the marketability of the worst version of Floyd Mayweather. Because even when people called Floyd boring, even when people called Floyd not worth watching, you're wasting your time. Highway robbery is what people were calling other people who paid for a Floyd Mayweather fight. Because, oh my gosh, you're not going to get any excitement. It was still, that's not this. Like, people don't want to pay for Shakur, not just because he's boring, but also because they don't like Shakur. Now, this win with Padley should have helped change some of that perception, but it's still stuck on a lot of people that you're wasting money. And this ain't a man that we love to hate because we just want to see him lose. It's a man we love to hate just because we just don't like him. Like plain and simple. It's one of those rocking a hard place situations. And the only way he can get out of it is if he gets, again, like this fight with Zepeda. He beats him, potentially knocks him out. And now that really helps to change some perception for the masses of the boxing world. But until then, right now, it's going to be like, yeah, no, you aren't in the public eye until you give the public a reason to change and sway. They are not going to pay what you think you deserve. Because you're thinking higher than what the people actually see you as. Now, in some situations, that's wrong. Like with Terrence Crawford, who was valued below his threshold of what his actual ability was for years. Up until he beat Spence and then got all the praise that he should have gotten all those years ago. Beyond just pundits and experts. Shakur, you can say he's in a similar boat, but this is a situation where it's kind of self-inflicted. Because he made himself not exciting to watch. He made himself. Again, he said himself, a fighter's dangerous in the first round and in the 12th round, so I can't risk anything. He said that. He's had people hurt and then backed off. He has run around the ring. Again, had an injury, but still ran. And then they couldn't do anything. All of that is still, all that bad outweighs the good in the fans' eyes because that's where their money goes. And that's where their time goes. And people, as much as we know what Shakur is, if you ain't Tank that's fighting Shakur, most people ain't going to give you that level of attention. They won't. Because of how you fight and who you set yourself up to be. Like, a lot of this is self-inflicted. A lot of it is self-inflicted. And so let's see, Eddie Reynoso can't hold a hand all the time. He's going to have to fight me 1v1. Hey, look, he, in terms of Canelo, hey, he's going to have to. It's going to be one-on-one in the ring. And we're going to see exactly what takes place. And hey, if you do to take care of business, we'll give you all the praise in the world for it. If you lose, we'll still give you praise because you still try to be great. And that's what we care about, trying to be great. I think Oscar will not fight Shakur. I think Oscar will not fight Shakur or force him to drop the interim. I think he won't fight him or force him to drop the belt. Ooh. Really? I think he will. Again, it may just be a hunch. It may just be a gut feeling. But I don't think that he won't fight him. I think he'll fight him. I think he'll get in the ring with him. As something's telling me there's no way this doesn't happen. And for me, again, I could be wrong. Most of the stuff I do is off of information, off of fact. I try not to be skeptical or just gut feeling with a bunch of stuff. This is one of those things. It's one of those things. As the Oscar's already shown, he doesn't want to put Zepeda in that fight. Plus, Zepeda is ranked in the WBA now. It's like, you're right, but you're right. However, is there a situation where Oscar can't afford to not have this fight happen? Is there a situation where he can't afford to make this fight happen? Because unless I'm thinking wrong, I can't think of a situation where Oscar will be like, well, this is the best fight to make. And from the standpoint of like star power in the ring, even with everything I said about the likes of Shakur, it still would be like a big, good fight that people would be invested in. It would. Even with everything I said about Shakur, which all is valid, it would still be a fight that people would want to see, or that people would pay to see. That would be like bigger than most of the things you could put on with Williams and Zepeda. Genuine. Like, that fight would clear Farmer versus Zepeda 3 if it took place. It would. Because, again, like we said, Shakur is a star. It's just that he's not a superstar. Though he's got the ability to be there. But of his own volition and words and fighting style has shot himself in the foot to where now people don't like him for the opposite version they didn't like Floyd. But he's still, at his roots, a bigger star that you can still make bank if you do get in a fight with Shakur. And I don't think there's another avenue that can be bigger than that. And so it's like, that's why I'm saying I really think, in my gut, I really think it's going to happen. And plus, with the WBC, like, ordering that fight to happen, do you think Zepeda wants to drop his belt? Like, you also can talk about pride in the fighter. Do you think that the fighter himself wants to drop the belt, especially how we know Zepeda is? Again, a warrior, like we always love and talk about. Do we really want to say that he would duck and drop the belt so he doesn't have to fight him? Even if Oscar said he didn't want to do it. He's still a warrior of the highest regard at his roots. And so that's why I'm thinking I don't think it can happen. I think that's why I think that fight will happen. That's really why I think when I put everything together, I don't think there's a way that fight does not happen with Shakur and Zepeda. I don't think it does. Even if it risks Oscar's stable, I don't think it would. I don't think anything can keep that fight from happening. Now, I could be wrong. Absolutely. I could be absolutely wrong. Again, this is all skepticism. But I'm very skeptical that this fight won't happen. And I think it will. I really do. I really, truly do think that it will. But I think, shoot. Let's see, our thoughts on... Oh, no, that's another thing. Thoughts on Turkey not keeping his word against Shakur. Ooh. Whoa. This... I gotta think about this. Yeah, I gotta think. Let me think. What this helps to breed that, that level of untrust that many people were talking about with Turkey in boxing. How they were like, something about him just don't feel right, seem right. Everything seems like everything can't be just what we see it as right now. With this whole drama with Shakur, Turkey, Zepeda, and this whole situation. Now, this helps fuel those flames of distrust with Turkey Al-Sheikh. It does. I can't lie. For a lot of people, this is going to be something that really sticks out as the, where's that? I got you. You see what's going on? Told you can't be trusted. But at the same time, again, I'm not saying it's right. But at the same time, this is not something that is uncommon with promoters, with not getting or not doing what they said they would do for a boxer. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm not. Let's keep that frank right now. I'm not trying to justify it in the slightest. Also, hold on. Give me 1 second. Excuse me. Something's going on with my chat to where it's bugging out on my end. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Hold up. Real quick. I'm working. I'm still here. It's just the chat is going a little bit awry, so I'm trying to go and fix it real quick. Give me 1 quick second. I'm still with you all. Hey, y'all got to hear the clacking of my keys. I need to get something here to keep it a little bit quieter. Yeah, I'll figure it out later. Regardless of which, it's people are going to use this to try to paint Turkey as I told you so. You shouldn't be doing this all in the first place. And so it's going to, but like other promoters have done the same thing. Now, I'm still, full disclaimer, once we get off this, I've seen and heard about all the lies. I'm looking into it more and more. I'm trying to make sure I got all my ducks in a row, as I do with all this. Absolutely. So, and most likely next week, if this topic comes up again, I'll be able to definitively say, yeah, this is wrong. This is right. I got everything now. We're good to go. But from what I know, this could be bad. It could absolutely be bad. And he did lie. And if he did, oh boy, it's going to be that gotcha moment that people have been looking for. To say, yep, don't work with this man. Don't trust him. Don't get with him. He's going to steer you every which way and then boom. Not live up to what he says he's going to do. Though all the other times he has, this instance that he hasn't, it's going to be an issue. I guarantee you. But again, I'm going to keep on looking to make sure this is indeed a lie. If it's not a lie, the more I delve deeper into it, I'll let you know. Absolutely. Oh, we'll have that conversation. No question. I'm not about being wrong. I'm not about being right. I'm simply about being able to give you the right information. And so I will look more into this. As of right now, yeah, it can be bad. It can be very bad. And it can be the gotcha moment for a lot of people against Turkey. But if it ain't wrong, and if he ain't lying, now we got a whole different conversation we have to get into. Absolutely. Let's see. Sometimes you got to take less if you're on a superstar and want a good name on your record. If it wasn't a significant decrease, why not take it? If it's significant, then don't take it. And I do got that. I got that mechanical keyboard with my laptop. I'm telling you, it works for me. That's all I care about. Absolutely. And so, oh boy. Let's see. I can talk One Piece all day, but we talking One Piece. Wait a minute. Hold on. We talking One Piece? Who talking One Piece? Teach Clarissa Shields' Big Mama. Oh shoot! Wait a second. What you know about One Piece? Think you're a One Piece fan, huh? Okay. See, we got some more One Piece fans in the audience. You a Yonko, ain't you? Well, we gonna see if you can face off against another Yonko and Canelo and see if you can get that work. Oh shoot! I didn't know we had this many One Piece fans in here. Shoot, I want to talk about One Piece too. Wait a second, but hold on. Time out. I did give you all a cutoff, didn't I, for the show? My gosh. I did. Oh, it's 2 hours 50. Okay, we got to wrap this up. I'm so sorry. We've been well over our time that we were going to do for when we're supposed to end this show. Because I got stuff I got to do. Y'all still got to enjoy your afternoon. So we're going to wrap it up and get out of here. So with all of this being said, my One Piece fans, fight fans, and sport fans as a whole, we appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you coming through. Let's see. The anime finally back. After a long layup, yes it is. Get excited for it. We're in the home stretch. I don't want the anime to end, but we're getting into the climax of the show. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. Oh, it's gonna be great. And yeah, it's right after Solo Leveling ended, so it's a perfect transition from good to great. It's gonna be challenging. But with all that being said, we gotta get out of here because we gotta go. I gotta eat and do some stuff. So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. This has been another episode of The Welch Report with me, your host, Jean Welch, right here on YouTube and every podcasting platform imaginable. Please rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts. Go through and like the stream before you go and leave the show. We appreciate you so much. Hopefully you had a phenomenal time. We started on time around at 12:30 time. Got everything should be fixed. We're good to go. Can't wait to see you all on Thursday. We're going to have more action, more NBA, more boxing, more debates, more topics, everything under the sun, more anime if you want to. And we got all day in a bag of chips on this show for you to go and see and listen to. We're going to be available on every podcasting platform. Once this show is over, share the show with everybody that you can. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Enjoy your afternoon. I've been John Welch. Y'all have been wonderful. Peace and love. Oh, we are out of here. Yes, sir. We're going to see you all on Thursday.